Welcome to another episode of our podcast, Tales from the Satellite. Today, we dive into the past, revisiting a significant moment in the entertainment industry and shining a spotlight on one of its unsung heroes. I'm your host, and I couldn't be more thrilled to take you on this journey. My name is Bobby Tamburo, and if this introduction were a basketball metaphor, I'd like to think of myself as the Kobe to our guest's Michael Jordan.
Okay.
Our guest today is a true force of nature, a man whose comedic prowess and unwavering dedication have left an indelible mark on the airwaves.
All right, when are we going to
I'm talking about none other than East Side Dave McDonald.
Thank you, Robert.
A name synonymous with
there's
entertainment
more?
and infectious energy.
Okay, what an introduction, Robert.
You may remember Dave from the legendary days on the Ron and Fez show, a show that brought laughter.
Okay. Yeah, they
wit.
know.
Okay, they do.
This is episode 4 of Davey Max, Tales from the Satellite.
Yeah.
You never like saying the full title. You just call it Tales from the Satellite.
You know what, Dave? I didn't say any of that. I had AI do it.
Oh, that was written by AI.
Because we are currently discussing the time you participated in the writer's strike.
The writer's strike and my participation as a Writers Guild member in the Writers Guild America East section. And I tell you what,
the year was 2007. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to do that the whole time.
This is going to be an exciting episode because I do recall controversy. There's going to be some infighting. I believe some new rivals for the Dave Man, perhaps, in this episode. It's going to be very exciting here. And even a celebrity cameo, perhaps.
Is it a new rival? It feels almost as telegraphed as the Apollo-Rocky friendship. Like, we've seen this fight coming a ways away.
Well,
although there is one.
But it's going to be the first time we're discussing this topic on Davey Max Tales from the Satellite, Robert. And that's why I'm pumped.
Oh.
I'm pumped for today's episode. And so that entire introduction was written by a computer, essentially.
Yeah, which is pretty impressive, given the fact that it knew who you were, that you participated in the writer's strike.
You know what? God bless artificial intelligence now.
But beyond that, it knew that you were known for entertainment, a name synonymous with entertainment.
Entertainment.
And
a name synonymous with it.
Infectious energy.
Infectious energy. Even fucking computers know that no one can touch my goddamn smoke. Nobody. All right, so that was written by a computer. That was the best introduction that you've done so far in 4 episodes. It was a little long. I thought you were going to get right to the beginning of the show, but that's okay.
To be honest, it was about 10% of the intro I had written, and I left
so the
out.
Computer wrote a fucking Wikipedia page?
I think the computer thinks of this as more like a podcast. You know.
The computer doesn't know what to make of this. All right. So Writers Guild.
So basically,
Writer's
this
strike.
story starts with you on the radio. Ron goes, kind of had an awkward elevator ride with Dave this morning. He said something about striking.
Oh, yeah.
Why were you a radio star? And by all means, no rocks being thrown here. Just a genuine question. Why were you a radio star in the Writers Guild at all?
I had to join the Writers Guild. So my first jobs in radio, we're going to go quickly through this. 2003 was my first paying gig. Paying gig was for 90.5 The Night, an NPR affiliate and adult rock station in New Jersey, Monmouth County.
Makes sense.
And I did overnights, midnight to 6. Then from there, I got an opportunity to work at Westwood One. And Westwood One at the time was in charge of all of your CBS stations, 1010 Wins, CBS, WFAN, and I got a job writing traffic and news.
The way the Yankees have been playing lately, it should be 9-9 losses.
Oh, you son of a bitch. But because I had to, you had to join it in order to get this job. You had to join the Writers Guild.
Okay.
Now, that's the thing is I didn't mind because once I joined it, screeners galore. And it felt kind of fun being in the Writers Guild. You know, I kind of liked that. Liked walking around being, I'm a writer.
because Writers Guild's a lot to say, I'm just going to refer to it as WAG going forward, because the only guild I'm familiar with is the Screen
Well,
Actors
this isn't
Guild.
the WAG. This would be WGA, you fucking piece of shit. That's the
I'm
Writers
dyslexic.
Guild of America.
I'm dyslexic. Now who's the piece of shit?
Writers Guild of America. You could call it the WGA if you need to. And technically, I was in WGA East, the New York division.
You do very proudly point that out to Ron, that it makes
East
sense
Side.
that you're East Side Dave and you're in the East Coast division.
Baby, East Side for life.
You know,
Let's
the one
go.
thing I missed your consistency. 'Cause
That's
this
it.
is like the third time you've said the same thing you said. But
Okay.
you did touch on my next question, which was the main reason you stayed in the Writers Guild to get
For the
Ronnie the
movies.
screeners.
It was for the screeners. I did submit a pilot, which was it still could probably be made into a fantastic sitcom, I think, or really not sitcom, but more of a Larry Sanders-ish type of show. And I still like it, and so I did actually write a script that was registered. Of course, all of my new. Think about this for a second. When anyone had to go into like the New York City, say from New Jersey,
Yeah.
And you're checking out 1010 Wins or 880 or 660 WFAN, and you're hearing 15-minute inbound at the Holland Tunnel, right?
That's
and then
you.
you're sitting there fucking 45, 50 minutes, and you still haven't gotten into the inbound Holland Tunnel. You know who's to blame? The Davey man is. That's who's to blame. I was the fucking. Do you realize how barbaric the traffic people are? I am going to give you an inside scoop into how the people in the traffic give you your on the radio, give you your traffic scoops. You have about 30 cameras spread out throughout the tri-state area. You have then 10 assholes like myself and other hungover type folks, some disgruntled, some are drug addicts, and they are looking at these cameras with no absolute, mathematical fucking system.
Plus-
They're just looking at the cars going, nah, that looks like about 25 minutes at the inbound GWB. So, all right, the inbound GWB is about 25 minutes. And then it takes an hour and a half to get into the GWB, and people call up and everyone's fucking screaming. But the funny thing is they always scream at the traffic reporter. They don't even understand. It's all my fault. All the traffic reporter does is fucking read off a little teleprompter. She's reading my garbage. And I fucked that traffic up left and right, Daddy. I didn't know what I was doing. I'm not saying I did it intentionally, Robert. I'm saying I didn't know what I was doing.
So ironic that you say that nobody really knows what they're doing there. They're all drunk, because every time I've driven you into the city, you demand we go to terrestrial radio to listen for the traffic updates.
That's so funny.
Is it just out of loyalty? You're like, no, we got to keep those guys getting paid. Somebody's got to listen to this.
Because having worked there, 1 or 2 in 10 of the workers take their job seriously.
And you knew
And so you're just
the
trying to get
times.
lucky.
And you knew the times.
Yeah,
to hit,
yeah.
too.
You kind of know the times in rush hour and shit like that. Usually they're going to try to be accurate. But the last thing you want is to be somehow listening for your traffic scoops on a Friday or Saturday night. Because that's whenever I was working, I
you were
could
just
give
hammered.
3 shits.
Yeah, you didn't give a shit.
Just give 3 shits.
Either
I
drunk
see,
or waiting for the
I
next
see
one.
8 cars. That's going to be 40 minutes on the inbound Lincoln Tunnel. And the great thing would be when people would be upset if they got through the Lincoln Tunnel faster. You said it was going to be 40 minutes. I breezed through the Lincoln Tunnel. What are you complaining about then? Why are you calling the fucking tip line and wasting us with this?
Whoa, Dave, you're getting angry. This was years ago, and it's not even really the subject of what we're talking about today.
Well,
so let's.
But what he was doing was critiquing my writing, if you think about it.
He was saying you're
It was
too
the
good at your
traffic
job.
that got me into the Writers Guild. And God damn it, I treated my fucking traffic reports like Ernest Hemingway treated Old Man to Sea. Now,
You got hammered and did it.
I wasn't drinking on the job. I said I was hungover.
You said you didn't like Ernest Hemingway. I just assumed.
Yeah, then I shot myself.
Now, is it true that there were several producers who applied for Ron and Fez at the time you did, and the screeners that you had access to give to Ronnie helped seal the deal? That is, it's a rumor the sources and I found. By the sources, I mean the archivist and Jared.
I don't think that's the case. I think I was giving, I had given Ron some stuff, like CDs. I remember I burned Luna, the band that I was very high into at the time. The album is Penthouse. Gave that to Ron. And I gave him the Black Keys before they were a household name. I gave him the Black Keys in 2005 when they put out their album, Thick Freakness. No one knew who the fucking Black Keys were in 2005. Dave Man did.
I'm so happy you said Keys and not producer, because if I had you to blame for Earl.
Please.
Okay.
But no, that's not the case. The case was, I think they tried out a few different people. And I mean, this is probably going to be a whole separate episode, I would imagine. But I'll just quickly tell you
curious.
that they tried out a few different people and the Dave Man got the call.
And when on the call, Ron didn't say, hey, and you can keep getting those screeners, right?
No, but I did give him screeners for sure.
Yeah. No, it was a known thing. And then it almost is kind of like Pepper took over for you with touring.
He stole my idea. Yeah,
once you left,
they
didn't have the access.
He actually copped to it one time on the Davey Mac Sports program. He said, man, you know, I realized I was like a little piece of shit as an intern, because he would see like I would get something over and then he would just do that and then get all the fucking glory. And then so that's why he actually made a policy that I believe remains to this day. Interns can't speak to Ron because he doesn't want some little weasel piece of shit sabotaging him, even though that's essentially what he did. This isn't me bagging on Chris Pepper Stanley. I love the man. But I gave Ron a whole bunch of screeners. They were over. It was keeping me in good graces. I was a producer. I needed that. He was a little fucking intern. The interns are always treated like gold. He didn't necessarily need to do that. And then he's fucking snaking my fucking free movie deal. What the shit is that? Come on, man. Damn. And he admitted it. He admitted that, by the way. He did.
On the Davey Mac Sports program?
He admitted that, you know what, that was a real low blow. And he goes, you know what, I feel like I did a lot of low rent shit to you. Accidentally, he said, because he didn't know any better. I said, yeah.
But
actually all true.
You kind of took him under your wing and built him up.
Yeah. I was the one who hired him, despite what Earl Douglas wants to say. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, and Earl's the reason why you called it the XL program. He said it was for Pepper, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what
exactly.
I thought.
Extreme language on that guy.
Oh, no, I thought it was because he was that, like, double.
Oh, come on.
That's what Earl said.
Extra large? He looks great.
Earl said 6Xs.
All right,
I don't
please.
know. It's not my shot. It's Earl. I just want to be clear. I love Chris Pepper Stanley.
But I love the screeners. And then don't forget, there's another thing with the Writers Guild that's very important. And I don't know if this is going to come up or not. So I'm going to ask you. The other thing that I loved was the Christmas party. Mm-hmm. Is that going to get brought up here?
It is. Actually, it is. So
then
we'll
I'll
come to it in a little bit because
wait.
I thought it was literally a joke. And I didn't do as much research, but I know where to put it in the story.
No, the Christmas party is something that I attended every year for 7, 8, 9 years in a row. And just amazing.
We will definitely get into it because I didn't realize that was a real threat. So.
Yeah, I was really at the Christmas party.
So in 2007, there was a writer's strike. It had to do with the internet.
That's right.
Where in 2023, there's a writer's strike. It has to do with the internet.
Here we go, man. Isn't that amazing?
It's kind of like that
you
meme.
just did what Disney is getting in trouble for the new Marvel movie, Secret Invasion with Samuel Jackson. They did an AI opener.
Oh.
And now everyone's pissed at them for that.
No.
That's what you did.
Well, this is different.
Mm-hmm.
Mine was to make a point.
Writers, he's mocking you. He's pulling a Disney Plus. He's pulling the Secret Invasion. He did that to taunt you.
You know what? You know who the only person I've seen really rallying the troops this time? Chris Gethard.
He's a nice guy. He's from New Jersey.
Great guy. Very funny comedian. Actually helped me. I met him along the way, and he gave me the advice. He was like, dude, you know what you have to do? Move to New York. I went to his book signing. Really liked him. But that said, if he's the guy I have to cross the picket line, I'm not too worried about it.
It's not like exactly a scene at a Hoffa where, this is some serious strike, union guys with fucking baseball bats and shit. It's like a scene out of Mad Max where you just have lines of people, getting up to fucking fight like Braveheart.
It's a little different.
Yeah, Chris Gethard is it Gethard?
That's how
I've literally been pronouncing it Gethard.
Really?
This entire time.
Well, he needs to get hard.
It's Gethard.
It's Gethard.
Jesus Christ.
Very
no one
funny
fucking corrected me. I know, but I've been calling him Chris Gethard the whole goddamn time.
He probably didn't mind that.
It seemed like a comedic name.
It's a great name. But no,
I'd go with Gethard over Gethard.
Mike Bichetti flew to LA and was worried the show he was taping on wasn't going to allow him because of the strike. And Steve and my producer at Compound were like, Mike, we will cross that line for you. You line up whoever you want. In fact, please let us cross that line for you.
Absolutely.
So Not too worried about stealing their bits with AI.
I hear
Would like
that.
to be in the Writers Guild at some point in my life, though.
You
'cause
would be?
I do write.
So get a job at Westwood One.
If only I knew a connection.
Do you think they're going to... They don't remember me.
This is the next best traffic guy.
I was there for 3 months.
Ladies and gentlemen, you know how great I was at that? This guy, he's the next one. I picked him out.
I was a traffic guy for 3 to 5 months. And then I got a job at 95.9 The Rat, biggest rock station in New Jersey, that I'm back at now doing the morning show. But at this time, it was another overnight gig. And it was kind of like fill-in work and weekends and stuff.
Okay.
And so that's all
But
about
that's
that.
not how you sold it to some other people. But we'll get into that another time, another place. Today, we're focusing on the writer's strike. Was this a
The
prepared,
writer's strike, yeah.
Was this a prepared thing? Going in, did you go, hey, the writer's strike's going on. Everybody's talking about it. How do I, Ron, you and I,
No, I mean,
and Fez make this entertaining? Like, how do we talk about this and make it different than everybody else?
it was probably brought up the day before.
Okay.
This wasn't a huge planned out thing where you're sitting there, storyboarding it. But maybe, hey, you're in the Writers Guild, Dave. Why don't you go on strike?
Because we will hear this in a second, but it kind of goes. Ron goes, hey, we were on the elevator and Dave's going to strike. And then he starts kind of guilting you into
Striking?
writing.
Oh, writing.
Because you come in saying you're on strike.
Strike,
And so
yeah,
the
gotta
first
be
thing's
on
like,
strike.
can you write me a bit? Can you write me a bit?
Not that time. When I was in the guild, I would not write anything. I didn't even write checks
That makes sense.
at all. I didn't pay rent for the entire strike because how am I going to sign my name?
At one point, they said, how are you keeping a list of people? And you go, I've got great memorization. I can tell you all the Yankees retired
It's all up
numbers.
here.
Yeah,
I mean, easily.
So
Billy Martin, number 1. Derek Jeter, number 2. Babe Ruth, number 3. Lou Gehrig, number 4. Joe DiMaggio, number 5. Joe Torre, number 6. Mickey Mantle, number 7. Number 8 is 2 players, Yogi Berra and Bill Dickey. Number 9, Roger Maris. Number 10, Phil Rizzuto. You want me to keep going or what?
No, I think we're good. I think you bought me enough time.
That was only 1 through 10. I got a lot more.
Well, the single
Mattingly's
numbers
23. I mean,
nobody who has single numbers are important in Yankees,
All right.
right? But so do you remember you said you were in the union, you are on strike.
mhm.
Ron asks if you can do something for him that isn't quite writing, and you go, I don't know, I have to ask my shop steward.
Right.
And-
We all had a leader,
Do you remember
If you will.
who your shop steward was?
some guy named Vinny.
I don't think so, based on what Ron says here. Let's take a listen.
All right, let's see.
I am a part of the Writers Guild. Yes, I'm a part of the union.
Yeah.
And we're on strike. And I am a writer,
Mm-hmm.
so that also means I'm on strike. I cannot comment on certain things, even if it's Mr. Bennington wants certain information out.
Right.
Maybe you're going to have to talk to my shop steward, or I'll talk to my shop steward or one of the representatives.
The weird thing is your shop steward's name is Stewart, so that really works out for you.
Weird.
It's Stewart Shop is his actual name.
Right, you can-
Well, you used to be our shop steward at NEW, and I remember one union meeting that only had you there eating a free hamburger.
So we learned a couple of important things there, right? You had a shop steward. His name was none other than Stuart Shop.
Well, I mean, I seem to recall in real life he was a short Italian man with curly hair named Vinny.
They usually are. Just saying.
Kind of sweaty.
Yeah, we capitalized
He was
that part.
yeah. I mean, he was one of the traffic guys. You know.
Drunk Tina's mad.
Okay, come on.
So you are on strike, right? You agree?
That's right.
that you're going on strike.
I'm
Ron
on
tries
strike.
to guilt you into it a little bit. And my question for this is, did you plan on other people with you being on strike being scabs?
What do you mean by planning on other people being scabs?
So down the road, not to give anything away, but you witness other people do staples of the Davey Mac writing household.
Well, I mean, sometimes it's not, you just start small and then, you can add and add and add and add.
The reason I ask is kind of the next thing we hear is that you're not going to do anything for the show, none of your staple bits, and you telegraph what's coming almost. That's why I was curious.
I'm stand with my brothers and sisters, and I will not be writing anything for the Ron Fez show until
Really?
I
Well,
don't
then
know why you're laughing. It's an indefinite strike.
I
will
guess
not write anything.
I guess the man behind the glass won't have any more of those funny quips you always hand him.
I have more than just shows quips. I write the Guy Geyerson. I do board gossip.
No Guy Geyerson or board gossip?
There will not be
Good. That's the greatest present you could ever give me.
I don't agree with that.
So
I don't agree with that.
I also don't.
You can't disagree with an opinion.
Clearly Ron's being comedic there because later at some point he says something when you are on strike and everything goes to shit that despite everything, Dave is the best producer he has. So we will come into that in a little bit. So don't get too down. I think it was
I'm not down.
But
I'm pretty happy.
You said board gossip.
Board gossip, baby.
You said Guy Geyerson.
Guy Geyerson. We're talking the sports. You want
Three days?
to talk the sports? We got the sports. It's Guy Geyerson here. We're talking the sports live. I got to tell you one thing right now. You want to see, everyone's talking about this new 7'5" center that the San Antonio Spurs just drafted. Well, I'll tell you something. That means nothing next to former Nick Kiki Vandeweghe, number 55. You ever see a white guy named Kiki and a last name named Vandeweghe? Can you believe it? His name was goddamn Kiki Vandeweghe, yet he looked like a fucking Fred Savage over here, for crying out loud. I'm Guy Geyerson. We're talking the sports. And then board gossip. Yeah, that was a fantastic
Everybody
bit, too.
knows that. And we'll get into both of those, but that is what gets ripped off later when you're
one
on
of the
strike.
scabs took those
one scab
beautiful
did
pieces.
each one of those pieces. So that's
God
why I was
damn
curious
them.
if you telegraphed it or if it's one of those things that happens so often working with you where somebody says something great, you pick up on it and go, oh yeah, we got to turn it into this.
I don't know if it was planned out to that extent. Could have been.
This is also a bit of a tangent, but I found it kind of fascinating because Ron made the man behind the glass reference. And at this point,
Earl?
no, it was actually Fez. Because Ron was doing something he called cherapy, where he would, whenever Fez got into a funk or a panic, he would make Fez sit in a different chair in the studio to have a different mindset. And he was mocking therapy by going, this is cherapy. And then Fez told his therapist that, and she went, oh, this is a brilliant idea. You should keep doing it.
Cherapy? She liked the idea. So where was he? He was behind the glass?
Yeah, he had moved Fez behind the glass for a bit, and then it was basically so he could throw Earl there when he got mad at Earl. Be like, nope, you're out. Fez, you're back in.
I see.
And like bringing in Fez almost like a reliever.
Yeah.
When you have a struggling star.
Yeah. Okay, that's fun.
Yeah, I just thought it was interesting.
I like cherapy.
Yeah, and Ron's point was, if I didn't have to have the medical degree, I could be a therapist. And it's truly
that is kind of strange that the therapist was like, oh, yeah, that's good.
Well,
that's
Fez
perfect.
even doubled down and was like, any idea I bring to you of yours, she loves. She loves you, Ronnie.
That's funny.
Then, I start to talk about day 2. That's the end of day 1. Nothing really happens. You come in the next day. This is Tuesday now. Day 2, you're talking about the impact it's having. No more late night. All the late nights going dark. No more Letterman.
Yeah, man. All the
Leno.
late night shows were gone or whatever. This was a real serious writer's strike. I feel like this was a lot heavier than the one that's going on right now.
It was, and I'm curious, what were the people's opinions? Because with those things going on,
People
Ron,
were with the writers, I think.
it seems like Ron doesn't think too highly of the people who ran late night television and the writers.
I can't imagine.
Just let me play the clip because I think you'll find it as entertaining.
Okay.
I did.
All right.
Now, Letterman goes dark tonight. Jon Stewart, I believe, goes dark. Leno goes dark. So it really shows how funny all those motherfuckers are that they really... I have nothing funny to say anymore.
And it rolls out from there. They think soap operas may be affected in a week's time.
Oh, my God, no.
Yes.
Though, first of all, those writers should be sued.
Basically, Ron said it
No,
was
I mean
making it harder.
that's a true point. I think he loves those guys, but at the
Absolutely.
same time, there is something to the effect of how many people does it take to like put on Jimmy Fallon's show? You see the writer's staff, and it's a name. There's 38 people, and you're like, Jesus fucking Christ. And I know that my show on Compound wasn't as complicated as Jimmy Fallon. But, you saw what I did. I wrote every sketch, every monologue, and everything for 6 straight years.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So fuck that guy.
And you were always a fan of Conan, right?
Yeah, I love Conan.
If you look at Conan's
Conan was a
writing
writer.
staff, all of those people got promoted, like, and became household names because of Conan.
Let me tell you something about, you know what? Since it's fresh on my mind,
Sure.
the difference between Conan O'Brien and Jimmy Fallon. In that writer's strike, Conan O'Brien paid for his staff.
Yep. He didn't just bring them food. He kept their salaries out of
Kept
pocket.
their money flowing.
Yep.
Jimmy Fallon took them out to a pizza party, a pizza bowling party, and then the writers gave him shit online. And he said, "Oh no,
They better not have been fucking writing, though.
We'll give you.
They better have been talking texting online."
But anyway, he goes, "Oh yeah, we'll cover some of their salary," and so he gave him 2 weeks. That's it. They're still striking. So, like I've always told you, from day one, Jimmy Fallon's the biggest fucking phony in showbiz. Period.
Oh, I agree. I was
not even close.
using the point to point out that, like, with the exception of Conan,
I know, but you're getting me
no,
fired up,
oh,
and
yeah, I love
I'm
it.
just going to go on a soapbox every once in a while.
Because that's the difference between you and Jimmy Fallon. You have real emotions.
Well, yeah, I don't need my fucking passion, my goddamn fire. What I say doesn't need to be written down on a fucking teleprompter. Jimmy.
Your hand doesn't start shaking if we don't get you a whiskey by the time we bring the musical guest out.
No, it doesn't.
Anyway,
Fallon.
sorry, we've distanced a bit.
No, I'm just letting you know,
So,
Fallon. I
as
got
it
my
goes
eye
on-
on you.
As the day progresses, we find out that there was a birthday party you had. Do you remember this, where there was an incident?
Well, who's the birthday party?
For you.
Listen, Robert.
No, it was
this
for
is
you.
Like
It was your-
17, 18
it was-
years ago.
It was Eastside Dave's birthday party. You had it, and it was the one with the incident, the stink bomb. The reason I ask is it comes up later in the story. as
Okay,
well.
a birthday party in a bar, and then
Yeah.
Radio Shark was there,
Showed
and
up
he did
and he
a
set off
stink
the stink bomb. Had to be removed. Do you remember
Well-
this incident at all?
I do remember Radio Shark and the stink bomb incident, of course.
Okay.
It was very inappropriate. He sets off the stink bomb in the fucking bar that
And-
everyone is hanging out in.
As Ron points out, right before that, Ron was like, "Yeah, we'll have you on. We'll bring you on air. I know it's been a while, buddy. Relax, calm down. You just gotta ask. We'll have you in." And then 5 minutes later, he set off a stink bomb. So
Yeah, it made no sense.
it just wasn't a good
Come
incident.
on, Radio
but What
Shark.
was important is, do you remember who was at your party and who wasn't? There was one major member of the Afro crew who wasn't there.
Of the Earl?
No, it was Anthony.
Oh, Anthony.
It was
not
Anthony.
there. Okay.
Yeah. So that's why I ask about that, because it does, like I said, kind of come up a little bit later.
Okay.
As we continue, you double down. You go, you're not writing anything at all. And honestly, I'm not going to play you another clip. But you go, no board gossip, no Guy Geyer.
No board gossip. Yeah.
No.
None.
And those are
Yeah.
the two things we end with.
Yeah. So obviously we had an idea that people are going to come in and scab board gossip and Guy Geyerson.
So, okay. At that point, I feel like maybe
Yeah,
earlier
if
you
I'm,
had
like,
said it,
saying
somebody
like
picked
that.
up on it. Yeah. Prior to getting that, though, Ron tries to get you to do a bit. He goes, "Can you write something for me, Dave?" And I'm curious, you're no longer in the Writers Guild. Are you currently striking?
Right now?
Yeah.
No, I'm not in the Writers Guild because they stopped sending me screeners. Okay? I emailed them and I said I've been a valuable member of the Writers Guild for 15 years. Why am I not getting the screeners? And they wrote back, because you haven't published anything in 10 years.
That's so rude.
I go, are you aware that I've been on radio for 20 years and have been writing that entire time? Now, if I fucking am in the Writers Guild to write traffic, why wouldn't I remain like how do they not see that me writing shit and sketches and bits and everything is the same thing? It's actually more of being, I think, a writer and doing Writers Guild than just writing 25 minutes inbound at the GWB. It's more, there's more of a creative writing process going on. But they disagreed with their decision. And after that, and I said no screeners, I said, fuck you, Jobu.
Jobu?
I'm not saying the relationship can't get healed, but for now, I'm not in the Writers Guild. Now, maybe maybe Chris Gethard can get me back into the Writers Guild and can say a few nice things to some people.
Not if he tries to stop me crossing that picket line. Anyway, so you're not striking?
I'm not striking because I
Then-
ain't in the guild.
Then I would like...
And if they wanted my support, then they shouldn't. They should have kept giving me the goddamn screeners.
Then you know what,
You
Dave?
realize that in a million years, am not the type. I wouldn't. I go out to see Star Wars, Indiana Jones next Saturday. Your Marvels and your Batmans, your Jurassic Parks. Am I seeing the Green Book?
No.
Am I? No.
No.
Am I seeing?
You can't even think of another example.
An Oscar. What was the Oscar movie with Sandra Bullock and Matt Dillon's the cop and holy shit!
Oh, it's my favorite Dave Matthews song, Crash.
Crash.
Did you know there was another movie, same title, that was about people who could only get turned on to have sex about after car crashes?
Let me tell you something.
Do you know how confused you'd be if you were a parent and brought home the wrong one? Like, we're going to watch this cultural impact
I'm going to give
movie?
a challenge right now to any of the Davey Mack Tales from the Satellite audience. Try watching Crash immediately after this podcast. Try watching Crash. It's the single worst film that's ever won an Academy Award for Best Picture. The movie sucked. The day it came out, it sucked. I never understood why one fucking person gave it. The writing was mediocre. It was very juvenile. It was a shitty Magnolia. It was a shitty Robert Altman's Nashville. It just fucking sucked. No one has gone back and watched Crash. Have you gone back and watched Crash?
No, I watched it once in a psych class and just went to the summary online. I wasn't going to watch that.
No one says, hey, I'm going to go out and watch Crash tonight.
How am I supposed to take Ludacris seriously in a straight role? That's ludicrous, Dave.
A year after The English Patient won the Oscar for Best Picture, everyone's like, that's the worst thing. Motherfucker, English Patient's like Goodfellas compared to Crash.
Yeah.
Crash is an abomination. Now, funny joke. I'll do a little Ron and Fez, not a joke, but a little story, a little Ron and Fez thing. I think now that I think about it, I think Ron. I'm not sure. I think he didn't like Crash either, and because I was in the Writers Guild, in addition to getting the screeners, a lot of times we got the screenplays.
Oh my god!
So at the Christmas party, I wrapped up Crash the screenplay and gave it to Ron. I believe he threw it in the trash.
So he could light it on fire.
No, he threw it in the garbage immediately.
Figure a guy like that always has matches around.
Yeah. But I mean, I thought that was a fun little.
That's a great little side bit. Nobody would know.
Right? You'd be slapping your knee like, look what he did.
Absolutely.
Ron hates it, and that's what he gave him.
I'm just, that's the gift that keeps on giving. Because the next time I do something and you get mad, I'm going to be like, hey, wait, no, that was like the Crash script. But I'm worried you're still, even though you're not in the guild, you're still pro-guild. So I'm going to challenge you.
Yeah, I'm pro-guild. I'm pro-guild to a certain extent.
I was just hoping you would write the bit that Ron requested for us now.
What?
This bit, right?
Well, let's hear.
Here.
What was,
Write me up a bit how Davey Mack is the best boy in his family and the best person to graduate from his high school. I would love to hear that bit.
No, I can't write that bit. I'm in the union. I'm on strike.
With a free, free spots by Fat Ladies Lazy Escalators.
That's not what it's called. And I'm glad we're all having a good
She
time.
a great big fat person. Way too lazy to walk up the steps. Give us a call. A fat lazy lady on escalators.
Right. I don't know why you're asking a woman all the time.
Well, men, you need that too?
Maybe older.
You know what I would do if I couldn't make it up the steps? I'd move into a ranch house. That would be my gimmick. If I had a wheelchair, I go, you know what I don't like about this house? The extra floors. Let's have one long, spread out house with really wide halls.
Yeah, but then you don't get that nice view from the second floor. You have that nice elevated view overlooking your backyard.
A second floor is never a fucking view.
You may get the neighbor's pool.
What about the third floor? My parents in Spring Lake are lucky enough to have that.
Okay.
If you like gangster movies, it's really probably kind of unfair that you're going, oh, I think there's going to be another Goodfellas, there's going to be another Godfather, it's going to be another Bronx Tale or Donnie Brasco, which, by the way, Solera hates Bronx Tale.
Okay.
Sorry. The reason why that last bit was in is he was literally talking about Crash, that people thought it was going to be good. So I included that last little part. I stretched it for you there at the end.
That's funny.
But in addition to asking you, can we hear the bit?
Well, what are you talking? What? What's the bit?
Ron asked you to write why Davey Mack's the best boy in his family.
Oh, okay.
And the most successful person from his high school.
Oh boy, the bottom line is when you are the son of four successful McDonald children, you got to bring something to the table. Well, I did. Okay, I hit 389 in JV. Okay, on the baseball team in high school. Okay, and I was
hoping you were going to be like, this podcast or my career on Ron and Fez. We're going back to JV baseball, Dave. God damn it. People don't even throw curves at that age.
You said
it's all
why
fastball
I was the
changeup.
best in high school. So I want to. You said why I was the best in high school and why I was the best in my family. So the four McDonald boys. Look, how about fine. How about this? Think
that's
about
on
this.
me. Best person, most successful from your high school,
Most successful.
and
That's
best
clearly
Mac brother.
me. Tony Reale is someone who is the host of Around the Horn at 5 o'clock on ESPN. And he used to be Stat Boy on Pardon the Interruption. And I always thought that was funny because in high school, you know what he was for me? He was my Stat Boy. And that's why he hates me to this day because I remind him he was my Stat Boy. And I was hitting 389 in JV. And Tony was the man, the guy, keep, giving me the towel. Tony, get my towel. Get me a drink of water. Reale, get me a drink of water. Give the superstar something. So if you're going to look at, because this guy, Tony Reale, has been on the cover, of CBA magazine, Christian Brothers Academy. That's the high school I went to in Lincroft, New Jersey. He's been on the cover of this thing. It's still yet to sniff a fucking cover, and I've been on radio for 20 years. Now, what the shit is that?
Yeah. Tony Reale gets to hang out with, the number one stars of the day, sports stars, and you get to hang out with intern Rob every 2 weeks on a Friday.
Yeah.
You showed him, buddy.
I mean, what the fuck? I mean, I feel more successful than Tony Reale. First of all, he pretends that he's from Brooklyn. I know for a fact he's from Marlboro, New Jersey, because I went to school with him. So you ain't fooling nobody, Tone. Nobody. You know the reason why he really hates me? Because
wait, Tony Reale hates you. This is news.
Tony Reale.
Yeah, he
fucking
hates you.
hates me in real life.
I thought he was just your stat boy, and maybe
No, this is a real thing.
Wow.
Because not only did we go to high school together, but when Tony was in high school, he had the thick fucking glasses like Ralphie from Christmas Story.
Yeah. And you told him to lick the pole.
Yeah, and all this shit. We somehow then end up at the same college freshman year at Fordham. I was kicked out, but he remained. Anyway, freshman year, right? Tony changes. No more glasses. He took them off. Got contacts. He started lifting weights, so he's buff.
I heard he was doing steroids.
Listen, I ain't saying it. I don't want to get sued by fucking Disney and ESPN. That's Bobby Tambur.
If they do, we'll get an AI lawyer. I hear they're adept in that field.
But what I'm saying is,
Chris Gethard, help us.
Tony, he changes, right? He pretends that he's a different guy.
Yeah, I know.
And I see him one day, and he's walking to the cafeteria. I'm in my dorm, but the window's open and shit with my friends. And he's got a whole bunch of flunkies around. Somehow he had become like the captain of this new crew. And they all bought into this guy. And I said, hey, Tony, I remembered when you were a dork in high school. Anyway,
and
he holds a grudge against
Wow.
that for me.
Wow. If anything, you helped
They
him.
tried. Ron and Fez tried to get him on the show. He gave a response. Quote, Dave's an asshole. Dave's always been an asshole. Close quote. Bruh.
Dude.
That's no way
Why
for
is-
Christian brothers to treat each other, Tone.
Yeah.
Forgiveness?
Minus 3 points, and I'm going to mute
He
you
didn't
for
like
30
the fact
seconds.
that I fucking said he was pretending that he was Brooklyn guy, and I'm like, you're from Marlboro.
Yeah.
And maybe you were born in Brooklyn as a baby. But Marlboro is one of the richest, affluent towns in New Jersey. Stop it.
And he really showed you that he
thinks he's in
wasn't.
the Warriors, this
Well,
guy.
he really showed you that he wasn't the nerd by becoming the guy who does the only show that requires math on ESPN. Requires you to do math.
He's mad at me, and yet Mike Wilbon and Tony Kornheiser called him Stat Boy. for 15 years, and this guy was a grown-up,
In
and he's
his-
mad at me? Shouldn't he be mad at Kornheiser and Wilbon?
In their defense, they called him Stat Boy from Brooklyn. So the other thing we have right there,
Tony.
great job with the bit, and I'm glad.
Hunky Tony. Hey, Tony. What's that from?
I don't know.
Seinfeld, -5 fucking points when Dan Cortez was on the show.
Good point. Well, you kind of just pulled a reality on me and took points away. But the other fun thing, I'm glad we did that bit because we learned about you and the feud with Tony. I had no idea.
Feud is very real because he's never talked to me since.
It's kind of like a rivalry, though. Both sides have to have a chance to win, and I don't see him ever beating you. So
he was given an opportunity.
yeah, no,
We
he's
invited
scared.
him to the show.
Bark, bark, bark.
Yeah, chicken.
But anyway, the other important thing we learned from that segment is about real fat lady escalators. That is one of my favorite parts of this whole thing. It has nothing to do with the writer strike or anything, but just Ron doing an impromptu commercial.
Fat lady escalators.
Fat lady escalators. Is it still in business?
I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a thriving industry right there at the time.
And is Ron right that the majority of people who use it are not men? It's just real
It's
big
called
fat ladies.
Fat lady escalators, you know.
You did say that's not what it's called, but I love that Ron's like, no, that's what it is. Anyway, as we move on, you ended this day, as I said, with no board gossip, no Guy Geyerson. So simply, we know what's coming next, don't we?
What? Because we don't. Board gossip, Guy Geyerson.
It's board gossip.
Oh no!
With
Who's
Lily.
doing it?
With Lily.
Oh my God, Scab!
Let's take a listen.
Lily Scab.
It's Wednesday. That's board gossip day. You ready to go with this?
No, I'm not. I am not writing anything for the show. There will be no board gossip.
Great. Let's start board gossip.
What?
Razzle dazzle. It's board gossip with Lily.
What the little gossip, a little chat, a little idle.
It's board gossip time, starting off with a segment called According to Anthony.
Hey there, Anthony boy, why you in such a rush? The girl, she wanna talk to you. Look at him, he's a blush.
Steve's Flea Man has been stirring up trouble for one half of the Opie and Anthony show. After complaining on Pal Talk about being dumped by his girlfriend, Sir Anthony was overheard saying, "Flea, you're an asshole," and proceeded to red dot him and bounce him from the room,
All right.
calling
How-
it
are we gonna
the
hear this
double whammy. Oh, Flea, it seems that in this round you have certainly pressed your luck. That is, of course, according to Anthony.
Hey there, Anthony boy, why you in such a rush?
What? Okay,
We got to get into it.
She took it. So Lily Scab.
Who came up with
Awful.
the idea?
Awful.
Somebody's going to do board gossip. We know that. You've come up with this
Probably
idea.
Ron.
So Ron said Lily's going to do it.
I would assume so.
How did you feel about that?
She's a scab.
She is a scab. Okay.
I mean, probably
So-
hurt
So
a little bit.
who would have written it then?
I might have helped her.
Okay. So
But at the same time, those music drops didn't really make a lot of sense.
you did not like this one in particular. You didn't hear them say Anthony Boy.
Well, there you go.
Like, so I was.
See?
So I
I
saw
mean,
that.
all these years later, I mean, seriously, the whole point of the music drop was doing that old radio guy who would he would say something and then let like a word drop or a phrase drop and then you would play the song. And that's what she was supposed to be doing. But there was no, I didn't hear Anthony.
I'm not
in there.
sure I even understand based on how bad that was what you were going for.
No, I would just
how okay.
Within
how did you
board gossip.
How did you originally come up with the idea for board
no,
gossip?
we were because of the message boards.
Okay, so there was communication going on in the message boards. You wanted to
Well,
bring
it's just the message boards was so much drama. There was
Okay.
ronfez.net. There was Whackbag. There was the oncoming FBA. There was a lot of websites sniping back and forth. People getting mad at each other.
and then let it.
I don't like you. I don't like you.
So instead of letting it just become constant, you channeled it into Friday's segment or Wednesday. I'm curious. I'm
like
asking.
a TMZ or maybe more of Cindy Williams. Are you
Okay.
familiar with her?
I am familiar with Cindy Williams.
So Cindy Williams used to do like a gossip column in the New York Post, but if you lived in the New York, New Jersey area, she also would appear on local New York news.
Yeah, I've seen
And
clips.
she would be like, Phil Donahue and Marlo Thomas might be getting a straight, something like
and
that.
then Wendy Williams picked up the torch and ran with it.
Cindy,
but I'm saying that Wendy kind of picked up the idea and ran with it and did the same thing.
I can see what you mean.
Yeah.
So Cindy Williams is
so you had that and you combined it with the old radio of you say something that leads into the music drop.
Yeah,
kind of
right.
like the way they would do a song. But there was a guy who did it as well.
Yes.
That you
It was a guy. I forget the guy's name.
but
I
you
apologize.
did it much better. Let's be honest. Who made Board Gossip? It was Dave.
Well, within Board Gossip, you might have mini segments like Who Could It Be? And you get a blind item, and then you'd get a little clue, and then based on the clue, you might think, okay, I think I know who he's talking about, and you go, who could it be? And then you go, who could it be? No, who could it be? That's how Board Gossip works, Daddy.
It makes sense. And you even pointed out that with ripping it off, Lily stole the idea but didn't do any of the classic bits that people would have actually enjoyed.
Yeah, you gotta spin the hits. At least one of them.
It wasn't great so far. Let's check out our next attempt.
Baby Fuck Bash of 07 will be the social event of the season. The latter half of the duo was overheard saying it's going to blow Eastside Dave's party away. And despite one recently failed attempt, this Board Gossip reporter has been given the esteemed opportunity to plan this all-night party.
You're going to be planning the baby fuck party?
I certainly am.
Wow, I had no idea.
Okay, this was written by Lily.
Okay, I was hoping you would just say that because I can't be nice anymore. This is just terrible.
It's. I'm not going to even. I thought maybe I would have helped her. Apparently, no. Apparently I was still on strike, and I wouldn't even help because these aren't going well because there's not really jokes necessarily.
No, there really isn't.
Yeah.
That wasn't even really gossip. It was just more.
She was actually reporting on her weekend plans.
She was just
That's
trying
not
to
gossip. That's like, hey,
promote-
guess what I'm doing? I'm going to be throwing a party this weekend.
It was just a plug for her shit. It wasn't.
She was just giving her what's on her calendar.
Yeah, but my question is this: she brought up two or three important things there. The first one was that it was going to be better than Dave's birthday party. So, was there a competition between you and her? Because honestly,
she's trying
later,
to needle me. She's trying to drive in the school. She's doing the bit, so she's trying to get it. I see what's going on. There's a mental game being played there.
But she also mentioned a first failed attempt. Did Lily throw a disaster party? What happened there? She even makes a reference later that Baby Fuck weren't at her party. Somebody who's needling Lily back for you asks why weren't Baby Fuck girls at her party, and Lily says they weren't invited. But who is Baby Fuck?
I don't know. Are you talking about Baby Girl?
So there was a Baby Girl, and then there was Fuck something, Angel Fuck maybe.
Oh,
and I think together they went by like Baby Fuck.
Okay, yeah. Jesus Christ,
I don't
you
know.
have to spell that out because I don't know. Baby Girl and Angel Fuck. That's right. Yeah, there was exactly there was two ladies, Baby Fuck and Baby Girl and Angel Fuck.
I'm guessing they were pretty attractive.
Yeah, I mean, nice looking ladies.
One point, I think it was Angel Fuck maybe, said that the reason Anthony didn't come to your party is she was in Atlantic City with him.
Oh.
And Lily goes, I go to Atlantic City all the time.
So I guess Lily has a little jealousy. Jealousy, night and day you on me.
I think.
Did you get it?
Oh, yes.
Board Gossip.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Even when you're not writing, you're writing.
I'm just saying that was the jealousy mini game within the larger Board Gossip segment itself.
It's like Kanye West said, you forgot better shit than I've written down.
I will give you every single dime in my wallet if you can tell me where I got the jealousy song from.
Can I hear it one more
Here's
time?
a good factoid. Yes. Jealousy, night and day you haunted me. You're never going to get
it. It's from a movie. You took the audio clip. It was a guy singing in the movie. I want to say Jim Carrey.
What's the movie? Come on, you're close.
Is it Liar Liar?
You're close. Oh, look at you. You were so fucking not close. I lied.
Oh, no. What was it?
The Man from La Mancha.
Okay.
The Man from La Mancha.
Who sang it?
I don't know. I
Oh.
just told you where the goddamn musical I got it from. It's from The Man from La Mancha.
Okay, all right. I thought that was a
Got
Jim
nothing to do
Carrey
with Jim
movie, and I
Carrey.
was
No.
kind of close.
No. You weren't close
But
at all.
You did bring up the jealousy, and I don't necessarily think it was with you. Because Lily, as an intern, is clearly fighting with Casey the entire time. Casey comes to your
Casey.
Elon.
Oh,
Or at
my
this point,
ex-wife?
McDonald. Yeah.
I mean, let's maybe say the ex-wife or something.
I apologize. I was going to kind of let you take the ball there.
Well, okay, but go ahead.
Because
Lily is fighting with my ex-wife at the time.
yes, who is your current wife at the time, your ex-wife now.
Just fucking say your ex-wife.
Your ex-wife, Casey.
Oh, just say your ex-wife. Just say that. Thank you.
Okay.
Continue.
So that's
not that there's any hard feelings.
No.
I just want to be able to live my life.
So your ex-wife.
Thank you.
And
Go ahead.
That's how we refer like Voldemort.
Yes.
I got you. All right. So your ex-wife and Lily are fighting. I don't know why. She's an intern fighting with the producer's wife. It's weird.
It was insane. It was insane. And not for nothing, but I was victimized on this one. This was over the line. This was insanity. This was two people. I had nothing to do with any of this shit. Nothing. But they were fighting and fighting and fighting, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I'm trying to work for a radio show here. Stop it.
And honestly, it may be me just listening to the clips that related to you and the strike, but it seemed like your ex-wife was just being a part of the bit. Like Ron kind of brought her in a little bit and was like, what do you think about your ex-wife with no salary?
That's possible.
And then she was tweeting that she had your back, and then Lily seems like she overreacted. I don't know the whole backstory, but just from what was presented on air.
I think she did probably.
And
she did overreact.
So
Lily.
that kind of sets up, and there's this tension because you want to go to the baby fuck party. You're not going to be allowed to go if you and your
Can
ex-wife.
we call it baby girl and angel fuck party?
Yeah.
Rather than baby fuck party?
Oh, yeah, Ron does bring up a good point because they were going to give out cards at one point.
Yeah.
And he was like, Lily says she'll give him his card at the party. And he goes, can I also get an explanation if the police ever see it?
Yeah, for you. For you.
Yeah,
Let's
okay. So the BF party.
Just say the fucking party.
So the party.
Yeah.
So there's that party, and it's kind of like going to be a comparison to yours. It's getting set up. Anthony calls in to say how good of a job Lily did. But
good.
With the bit, I'm not going to make you sit through any more of it, but it wasn't good. The callers are needling. Lily and your ex are going back and forth. It's going well.
Nightmare.
No, it's great radio. It's,
good.
The issue with your ex-wife thing is it does drag you, and somebody who doesn't want to be involved gets stuck in the middle and just gets all the shrapnel.
Yeah.
And
I didn't fucking have any decision that these two women were just going to fucking fight with each other. I kept saying, you can't do this. And I did tell her that.
Yeah. And
like, what are you doing, man? And also, you're supposed to be working on a radio show right now.
Yeah.
Like, because she would be texting, she's angry, and like Lily, I'm saying. And then it's like, what the fuck, man?
You even bring that up on air.
Jesus.
You even bring it up on air because at one point you're like, you're getting texts. I hear it, Lily. Like, stop texting. This is a radio show. We're all trying to do a radio job.
Look at me.
But
even back then,
before we move on past the party, Ron has one of my favorite jokes because he's obviously attracted to both Angel fucking Baby Girl. How could you not be?
I don't speak for Ron, you fucking sick bastard.
Hang on. Let's hear what he has to say. I'm not speaking for him.
HTG wants to know why you sound so mean and angry.
Why is that? Because somebody's attacking me personally and lying? Of course I'm going to be mean and angry. Why would I be nice and friendly?
This is what happens when scabs, though, do their thing. I mean, you think we're supposed to treat you with buttercups and tulips. And
the one guy trying to make it still about the bit is you, Dave. At this point, you're like, look, come on, please. Just
Scabs, I'm trying
make
to
it about this, please.
See? I was not always such a fucking idiot as people thought.
Let's keep
Believe it or
listening.
not. No, wait. No, let's not keep it. I was professional. I knew what I was doing. I still know what I was doing. I was trying to call her a scab, bring it back, but now she's gone into some kind of crazy Albanian revenge thing.
Well, let's see where that goes.
not the case. We don't pamper.
That was a band I was in, Buttercups and Tulips. Buttercups and Tulips, the old band. She wrote, funny, I just got a text too. It must be opposite day.
They're
Yeah,
texting
and
each
what
other
does
on
that
air.
text say? I don't understand. Like, why?
Why can't you just be nice, Lily, and try to get along?
Well, seems like she's not being nice either.
Yeah. Because a girl doesn't like fighting, and that makes when she's sad, then I become sad,
Yeah, I understand that.
and then when Earl's sad, I become happy.
We all
I
do.
got a text message from Baby Girl saying Dave can come, but Casey can't, so she's banned.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, well, I guess I won't be showing up then.
Ask if Ron can come.
Oh, you're already on the list.
No, on her back.
Okay.
I don't
It's
see
a
why that would be
joke.
problem.
It's one of my favorite jokes in this whole saga.
I know. You're such a sick freak, though. Ron's obviously attracted to baby girl.
No,
The way he
I was
said
just
it.
setting it up.
I'm just saying. Just the way he said
Well,
it.
how
It's
could you
funny.
not? At one point, he goes, "I wish those girls would come to Atlantic City
Because
with
he's
me."
telling jokes. He's a joke teller.
I'm
No, it's just
also
funny.
not going to
You're
be.
funny. You're
you.
funny to me. Just relax.
As a comedian, I typically like it when people scream angrily. You're funny at me. That's what I'm going for.
No, I just because sometimes your little setups crack me up. I can't explain it, but the way you just said, Ron's clearly attracted to these two women.
Well,
Chick.
Davey Mac. I did my radio voice a little bit. That's not a lie.
You know, it's like you had a Walter Cronkite type of thing where you're going to drop the evidence on us. Anyway, what happened
So
next?
that's kind of during the end when everybody's calling in and promoting Lily. A couple of guys call in and have Davey Max back and go, Lily, I know you're not in a union now and you don't think you're a scab, but you might want to be it someday, and that won't look good.
That's right.
And at that moment, as I had already
Scab.
written the AI opening to the show, I had a brief moment of fear, and then I went, nobody's going to know. Nobody
Scab.
cares. Me?
You're a goddamn scab.
You just wrote that bit?
Damn it.
Yeah, those
Oh,
who live
scab.
in scab houses.
Shit. You mean the Tony Reale thing?
The Tony Reale bit,
Damn it.
yeah. Well, yeah.
All right. I got to take
But-
that back. I got to burn that.
That's kind of where the board gossip run ends for the day. You call Lily a scab, but you get distracted by the other argument. You don't blow up on Lily because as it's going on, your ex starts sending in pictures of her with Jonathan.
You know, Lily's
So
boyfriend.
Lily's boyfriend.
And the ex-wife, mine.
Your ex had a friend. It's a whole thing. But what gets lost here is that the only person really being hurt is you.
I know.
Like the shrapnel
Yeah, I
there.
know.
And you're
They
kind
just
of
don't know. It's
you're
been my
ki-
whole life like this.
you're stuck in the middle. You're
Yeah.
like you don't realize.
I just want to go through life being silly and wacky and being the fucking content king, which I am.
Yeah.
And there's always just some fucking little fucking asshole who's gotta just, I don't know. Just leave me alone.
And
God damn it. But yes, this was beyond insane.
yeah.
Beyond insane.
And
Because
you even
I'm
say the
dealing
line.
with legitimate arguments between two people, and I've got nothing to do with it, and also I have a job to do. This was happening noon to 3.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck are we doing? For real.
I couldn't agree with you more.
Jesus.
So you even say the line like, "Hey, baby, I don't think you might realize there are other people being hurt by these pictures." Like you're trying.
Yeah, I know.
And so it
That's
kind
it.
of
Everyone gets crazy, and then fucking good old Dave, good old nice guy Dave, loyal Dave gets the shit.
trying to figure out a
Gets
way
the
to
goddamn
get to go
shit.
to the party.
That's why
with
we're doing
everybody.
one of these fucking shows, Davey Max Tales from the Satellite, so we can fucking straighten out some shit. Straighten it out.
Some shit.
Maybe
really,
people can get a little appreciation for the goddamn fucking controversy I had to walk through. Because they were still yelling at each other. Yelling, texting. I remember we had to have a sit down at one point with Ron.
I remember that as well. Not from this incident, but I do remember from the Ron and Fez history. It boiled over.
It's crazy that I had to have a sit down. I was like, I don't want to be here. I don't want this to be occurring. I don't want anything to do with this. I can't tell the ex-wife, and I can't tell Lily, my intern.
Yeah.
They neither will listen to me.
And honestly, the person who should have been speaking up the most is the Jonathan figure. Like, stop using my. What are you doing? You're fucking up one relation. Like, he should have been as upset as it by you, and I think he just liked the attention.
I don't know what the deal was, but they everyone needed to progress with their lives, but it wasn't occurring right now.
We need.
I had a goddamn writer's strike to think about.
Yeah, we need to progress back to the writer's strike.
Well, think about that for a second. I was on strike.
And we will after these short messages.
Carbonite. It is the online recovery system for your computer files.
I'm Carby, the Carbonite monster.
They don't have a mascot, but it's Carbonite.com.
Arr, me like Carbonite. Cookie.
If you have computer files that you can't afford to lose, you want to back them up with Carbonite at Carbonite.com.
Uh-oh. Carby can't find his underwear. Where it go?
Carbonite, it's automatic. Once you set it up, you don't have to lift a finger.
Me want Carby cookie.
No such thing as Carby cookies, but Carbonite backs up your files while you work without slowing you down, and it installs with just a few clicks. And with Carbonite, recovering your lost files is easy. You get your files back with just a few clicks of the mouse, and if your computer is damaged, they can help transfer your irreplaceable files to a new computer.
Fatty pneumonia. One day, Fatty made love to a cupcake. Fatty pneumonia.
Got nothing to do with Carbonite. Carbonite.com, it's affordable. Less than $5 a month. That is for unlimited backup. You can try it free today with no credit card required. It's the smart insurance policy for your irreplaceable data.
Carby cookies. Wear me underwear.
Go to
me underwear.
Go to Carbonite.com. You can enter offer code XM to start your free trial. You get 2 free months if you decide to buy.
And now Carby has his friend, Little Carby.
Hi, Big Carby. Wow, I love me cookies.
Yum,
yum, yum.
Cookie.
These
Cookie.
Thanks for the cookies.
Carby cookie.
Cookies.
There's no cookies there, just Carbonite.com, the best online computer file recovery system you can get.
Me love you, Little Carby.
I love you, Big Carby. Thanks for sharing the cookies.
It's offer code XM to get that free 2-month trial, and you can try it free today at Carbonite.com.
Another winner, buddy. Another winner.
Don't know how happy they'll be.
The Ron and Fez Show.
Back, baby.
What a fun sponsor, huh?
I mean, it was wonderful. We got to thank our sponsor. Thank you very much.
Do you think Carbo is even real? Anyway, we are back, and we just finished with Lily ripping off board gossip.
Well, scabbing
board gossip.
Scabbing.
Yeah, scab ripping off.
A scab artist is what she's doing.
Well, I wouldn't call what she did art, so that's
No,
let's be
actually,
safe.
Scad hack.
Yeah,
Scad
Scat
hack.
hack. Much
Scat
better.
hack.
Good call.
Thank
Good
you.
call. At this point, there's only one thing left to be ripped off, right? Guy Geyerson. But before we get to it, how did Guy Geyerson come about?
Guy Geyerson was just a character I was doing at home, actually. And I think my ex-wife told Ron about it. And then he said, well, what is this guy Geyerson? And then I started to do it. And then it became an actual bit that I wrote and stuff like that. And would produce every once a week or something like that.
That is 100% accurate. You weren't doing it on the show. Ron actually got mad at you. In one point of this, he goes, don't tell me you came up with this writing thing you do for my show. You wouldn't have done it if your wife hadn't fucking told me about it or something along those lines. He calls you out and he goes, don't say that this is some idea you came up with for the air. You were doing it at home, annoying poor Casey. And now, so it's very interesting, but he's basically a sports guy, but that doesn't get it, right?
No, he's a sports guy. I was a big Mike and the Mad Dog fan.
Okay.
And
still
it's still am. Yeah. And Francesa's retired and does a podcast. Francesa tried to do an app.
Yeah. Yeah.
He tried charging. First of all, I knew it was going to be an app. And before he came out with his app, he was promoting that I'm Mike Francesa. Okay, and for all you Mike Francesa fans, watch out. Because in the next few months, I'm going to debut something that's going to change the game of radio. Okay. Radio is going to be changed by what I do. Okay. And as he was building this up, I knew it was an app. Yeah. But it doesn't mean it can't be a great app. His app was one of the shittiest apps I've ever seen. It was the fucking resolution of the videos were 360.
Okay, that's a problem.
Okay. Grainy fucking videos. And that's all you got.
Yeah.
$9.99 per month for the Mike Francesa app.
That seems reasonable.
Reasonable? This is a fucking...
I mean,
they got, I'm paying $7.99 for Hulu.
How much are people paying a month for this?
You can pay $2.50.
Oh my God, that's a hell of a deal. What are you doing? Why are you not buying this?
They know.
I'm just kidding. That was all a plug for this. No, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, $9.99 for Mike Francesa's. And it was just Mike at his kitchen, like, oh, the Yankees are in a lot of trouble here. Aaron Bone's bullpen management isn't so good. The management of the bullpen, good. It isn't. And so I was a fan of Mike and Mad Dog. I always noticed that they like to go real retro.
Yeah.
And so Guy Garrison is kind of stuck in the past.
Super retro. Okay.
He's
that's
stuck in the past.
I see what you're saying.
I foresee him as probably a drunkard.
Okay.
Guy's probably a gambler.
Okay.
And probably had some legal issues in the past.
I could see that as well.
And that's why he his happy space is, retro sports, 50s through the 70s. But, the 80s is pushing it.
Okay.
All right?
Gotcha.
Hey, that's pushing it. But maybe 80s. Yeah. So that was Guy Garrison. I talk to sports, you talk to... Hey, I'll tell you something. What was good, we got Chris Russo one time to do that.
Really?
Yes. There's somewhere in Sirius XM is a little sounder of Chris Russo actually going, you talk to sports, he talks to sports. It's Guy Garrison talking to sports.
I love that.
Somewhere in the Sirius XM computer database.
Next time I'm
it's
there.
Next time you're there. Go look for it.
I got you. So, Guy Garrison, we know how he came about. We know he's going to be ripped off. I will just before we throw.
By the way, let me just squeak in here for a second.
Okay.
I was going to do Guy Garrison. I was going to propose or give Ron Guy Garrison. I'm not giving my ex the credit as, with all due respect.
I know.
And but here's why. I was workshopping it as I did with all of my characters.
Yeah.
All of them.
That's why.
Every single one. I workshopped it in front of her. No, you don't have to apologize. I think she, or whatever.
No. I apologize for saying I know because I do know exactly what you meant as a comedian.
Yeah,
I workshop bits to my family.
I'm working it out just to see if there's anything there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I worked it out once, and she, texting Ron or emailing or something. Hey, you got to check out this new bit. I was like, okay, yeah. I wanted to. I was going to show it to him or debut something. I just hadn't written it up yet.
Pardon my language, but this bitch in her text, Dave, you got to take her phone away.
Please,
sorry,
Robert.
I'm sorry.
It's an ex that I fucking share custody of my kids with.
Well, we'll be cutting that out.
You stupid motherfucker. Yes. You can't do that.
That's on me.
Jesus fuck. Go ahead.
We're not cutting any of it. Anyway, we're back.
Go ahead. Yes. What's your next question? Guy Garrison.
I will, before we throw Francesa too far under the bus, I have yet to see, other than YouTube, a live streaming app that works well. Anytime somebody mentions it, I work for a company that has one that doesn't work well.
He didn't have live video. This was like, bro, it's basically like the Patreon page. Actually, you're right. It was Patreon page. Only you had to pay $10 for it, and you got shitty ass 360 fucking,
not live
video resolution clips.
Goodness. Wow. Okay, that's hilarious.
Really bad shit. That he was trying to charge $10 a fucking month with.
That's very funny.
Come on, Mike.
Very funny.
And I love you, Mike. I was going to get the app for $1.99.
I mean,
$2.99 maybe.
for $2.99, you could get this, and that'd be way
$2.99.
better.
I would get Frances app.
Sometimes our videos are even in 1080p.
By the way, they should have named it the Frances app.
Yeah.
Because his last name fucking ends with an A. You could have then add the PP.
Yeah.
The Frances app.
Yeah.
See, again, Mike and Chris Russo. You motherfuckers. I'm talking to both of them. Fatso and Fruit Loops. You two want a fucking edgy video, or you want to, shake some shit up? Give Davey Mack, the sports master, a call, Mike. Chris, same to you, you little twitchy little fucking weirdo. With the, you know how you are, Chris, with the twitching and the sort of involuntary shaking. No disrespect. Okay. I don't know if that's a medical condition, Chris, but it's scary. I saw Chris Russo at a Bruce Springsteen concert in 2002. My brother and I had 5th row tickets, and 2 rows ahead of us, I'll never forget this, was 2 of my favorites. Professional wrestler Mick Foley, Mankind.
Wow.
Cactus Jack, and Chris Russo.
Holy cow.
And Mick Foley, he was cool. He was just kind of nodding. Chris Russo would try to clap in rhythm to Bruce's songs. No rhythm whatsoever. He looked like this. A lot of shaking, a lot of non-rhythm. Very much an unrhythmic Stevie Wonder quality, though Chris is not blind.
Oh, I was going to say.
Or black.
Blind? Wow. So no rhythm.
No. Kind of, with all due respect, Chris,
Like
I'm saying
Bobo.
you and I could be partners. You and I should be doing a sports show together.
Well, let's take
I thought you had cerebral palsy. I was worried for you. When I saw you, I said, someone get Chris a beer or some medicine.
Maybe he's just not good at rhythm like Bobo.
Twitchy weirdo. Bobo's George Clooney compared to Chris Russo in terms of smoothness.
You know what?
In terms of just, listen, I could go out to a bar with Bobo and had a beer. I don't know if you can with Chris Russo.
Well, we'll give Chris Russo a pass because we're getting a little far away from the writer's strike. I
we
will
are.
say before you make
I told you this is going to be a controversial episode. You fired me up. You fired me up about Tony. Now you fired me up about those 2 fucking idiots. Who I would like to work with, by the way, in the future. On a podcast or something.
Be careful. Roy is listening.
I'm not talking about Roy.
No, I'm saying Roy will hear that you want a new partner. And
I didn't say I'm replacing Roy, you fucking troublemaker. Roy Harder never gets replaced. Not on my watch.
Dave,
if
man.
he dies, I fucking strap his corpse to his keyboard.
Okay.
Roy Harder and I have made a blood pact. We will work with each other until the day we die. Don't you know that about us by now?
I do, but the audience didn't.
This
so
is
I was
another
just
Patreon side project.
Just giving you the opportunity to promote. That's all.
Listen. Dave and the Mad Dog for a Patreon show, right?
Oh.
Chris, this is what I'm talking about. For a higher tier, Dave and the Mad Dog, we do a fucking sports show every Friday. Chris, I'm willing to give you 15%. I'll take the other 85%. This is all we're talking about. Let's start thinking here.
Somebody get in touch with his people.
Because let's be honest, those 2 guys are in their 60s and 70s. They don't know how to do the online thing. They don't.
They need somebody to carry them.
Yeah, I mean, look at the Frances app.
Sometimes you see somebody and you're like, you used to be incredible. I can help you still be I'm on the path to be you.
Unbelievable.
And then it makes a great show.
Where
they talk. You know what? You could even talk about his time on Mike and the Mad Dog.
Real quick, not
like
to get on too much of his side, but Craig Carton, famous radio guy, recently left WFAN.
Yeah, because we have the same bookie.
So I reached out to the WFAN guy, the new boss, Spike Erskine, who is from Philly. I thought you'd be familiar with him. His dad, Howard Erskine. Right,
okay.
Big radio, Eagles guy with the beard.
Mm-hmm.
His son Spike runs WFAN. I reached out to him.
Nepotism. Go ahead.
Did I hear back from Spike? The answer is no. I didn't. So again, we could have reformed Mike and the Mad Dog and the Dave Man. We could do that. That could be a show on the Fan. But Spike never reached back to me. So that's fine.
Spike's defense, maybe he didn't hear. Maybe he hired somebody already.
He had Tiki Barber. He had Mr. No Personality Tiki Barber. He's got some kind of...
Or maybe he hired someone else.
Oh.
Well, it's Thursday, so that always means we're talking sports, right?
No, we're not. I'm on strike. I've explained this. It's day 4. I will not write anything for the Ron and Fez show. Period. No Geyerson, no board gossip.
So it's
No Roberto.
So it's Thursday. Always time for talking sports.
No.
We'll get into it in 1 second, but just the Roberto line. As you do this, I like to think you said Roberto kind of like, maybe we add this one in. Somebody does Roberto, and Ron just went, no. Like, that's what I know. I don't know if it did or didn't, but that's what I like to think happened.
You think that happened?
Yeah.
Maybe.
You love talking sports.
Son of a bitch.
He loves talking sports. It's a sports editorial with Bob Boberson. Play ball.
Bob Boberson's the name. Talking sports in my game. Let's get right into it.
Who is that?
That was my. Who the fuck was that guy?
I gotta hear more. Is that because I thought that was going to be okay? So that's Pizzi, Anthony Pizzatola, the intern. I'm not intern, producer before Chris Pepper Stanley. At one point, it was a 3-man team. It started with me and Earl, and then Pizzi was a producer. Then he left, and Chris Pepper Stanley came. But that was Pizzi on the intro. I don't know who the guy talking is.
So there was an intern with Lily.
Okay. All right, I'll play it a little bit. Let's see. Let's try to figure this out.
That would be nice. If we had that capability, we don't right now. So
all right. So that's it. That's all you got from that clip. Don't worry about it.
I do have a little bit more we could play, but so it's. I think there was an intern named Rob, maybe, or Bobby, something like that. Any? No.
I hate to say it, but a lot. I mean, we had a lot of interns.
Okay.
I feel like I would remember everyone's face.
Yeah.
And I remember certainly a few people's names.
Well, yeah. I mean, there were obviously the essential interns. There were those that rose through the ranks. There were those that people to this day still question why they got to do the board gossip bit of this segment. You know, the impactful people.
Okay.
The Chris Pepper Stanleys, the Lilies of the world.
Yeah, I don't know who this person is. He must be an intern if it's not Pizzi.
That leads into it. He does some. I'm not going to bore you with the quips he does. At one point, he gives his roast beef sandwich take. What was yours?
I don't know.
I believe it was ham sandwich. Wasn't that always the guy Geyerson, or something like that?
I don't know. He's just doing some kind of thing. He
But
probably listened
was
to one
stealing
guy
the bit.
Geyerson and did a parody.
We have to. Oftentimes, we go behind the scenes. Dave, we got to go inside.
Please.
We got to get into your subconscious a
Okay.
little bit here because there's something that sets you off.
Now I'm interested.
Other than just me.
A lot of things set me off.
Other than just
You,
me
for
and
one,
my
yeah,
autism.
You for starters.
One thing being, there's a certain field of jokes that if people make them about you, you explode. Even one of the producers of this show said he made a joke via text once of this subject. Thought it was just a joke.
Well, you could just tell me.
angry.
Don't always phrase it in a guess. How about that? Just tell me.
I'm not phrasing. I'm just trying to preface it.
Yeah, but it's like a quiz. You're always like, would you remember? I'm like, no, I don't remember shit. Just tell me.
Well, Dave, we all didn't get to go to the Connecticut School of Broadcasting. This is how some of us broadcast, okay?
Just tell me.
Ronald McDonald jokes.
Ronald McDonald.
Set you off big time.
Ronald
Is
McDonald.
that true? Where does that come from?
Well, the
Jared?
Ronald McDonald joke definitely set me off as a child, and I guess so. I guess a little bit, but
Jared said one time he ended a text with "Good night, kid Ron," just as a joke, and you called him and had to have an actual discussion. Like, so
I wanted to kill him. I was going to kill him at that moment. I was going to drive up from where I am at the Jersey Shore. I was going to drive up to Cranberry, New Jersey, and strangle fucking Jedi Jared. What I was going to do. Yeah, it was because this kid in Little League, it was the all-star team. I'm not just saying that to pat myself on the back, but it was a fucking all-star team. And we're having practice, and one of my teammates, he wasn't a teammate on my actual team in Little League, but he was a teammate on the all-star team. So we should have all been cool with one another. And he was like, your last name's McDonald. First of all, you fuck, you know exactly who I am because I'm the best player in the league. And that's not me saying that. I won MVP with 7 dingers and a .435 average. Okay, like I was the best player in the league. I won MVP.
Did anybody
Anyway,
have
this
a
fucking kid goes.
Wait, did anybody have a higher average?
No,
No, there wasn't one kid who had less stingers.
no, I got the Triple Crown this year.
Okay, all right.
Or that year.
I just
This fucking kid,
I
Chris.
heard a rumor.
I know his name, Chris. I remember. Hey, look at it. Wait, your last name's McDonald, and you got red hair. You're kind of like a kid, Ronald McDonald. And I was like, no, I'm not. And he goes, I'm gonna from now on, I'm gonna call you Kid Ron. And I go, no, you're not. He's like, yeah. I go, hey, don't call me Kid Ron. I'm dead fucking serious. First of all, you don't even know me, pal. We're supposed to be teammates. And though I play on the Braves and you play on the Mets, those were our Little League teams.
I get it.
I'm like, we're teammates now. So you're going to call me Dave. I'm going to call you Little Ron. Bam! Punched him right in the fucking stomach. And he knows this to be true. To this day, he's intimidated by me. I see him at the bar. He shrinks down. I fucking gut shot his ass, and he starts crying.
Mm-hmm.
I said, I told you don't call me Kid Ron. You know who called me Kid Ron on that Little League team? No one.
That damn.
Because I don't fucking no one gives me a fucking nickname that I don't want. I have done this before in my life. Even in college, someone tried to do a little nickname. I know how fucking nicknames stick. I go, don't fucking call me that. That's not my nickname. Why? It's funny. No, it's not. It's not funny. So what we'll do is I'll take this bottle of beer, crash it on the fucking table, and smash it over your head.
Seems reasonable.
Ronald McDonald, that's the best you can do.
Didn't Houdini give you a nickname and then you punched him in the stomach?
Yeah. So I don't like Kid Ron. That gets me going.
So Kid Ron in particular gets you going. Okay.
Kid Ron specifically
Because
is an upsetting nickname for me.
It seems
Certainly was when I was 12 on the Little League All-Star team.
I'm sure a lot of people watching this go, man, Dave has the world's most patience because he works with Rob. Like he's going straight to heaven. No purgatory for Dave. But it's truly awe-inspiring because you have one intern fighting with your ex-wife while you're on air, and then you have another intern who takes this shot.
That's enough. That is enough of this fucking shit. Come on. That's enough of this. No.
Bob Barberson.
This right fucking now. There you go. You guys want to make a big fucking deal about this whole fucking thing.
What is it, Roddy?
It's a strike. It's a strike. What do you guys not comprehend? Bob Barberson is shit, and you're a fucking scam. And Millie's a fucking scam.
True.
And what is it about? It's about the fucking little man who is on the streets. I don't understand what you guys think is so funny. I'm striking.
Who's this Ronald McDonald reject ruining my bit?
You're a fucking cocksucker. And I will fucking kill you.
Oh.
Not physically. I'll get fucking fired.
That's true. And Earl.
Yeah, I was probably fired up for real. If that's your question,
It was. Was that did you write that line? Because
I didn't write it.
The reason I ask is this is what sets you off to going outside and joining the picket lines. Like what we heard, continue the I'm done.
I don't
fuck
think
you.
I
and you
doubt
go
it.
outside. So
You probably heard the story. I probably said it on the Ron and Fez show or something about the Kid Ron, and so he said
hit it. Okay, we were curious because it seems like that's a great trigger. If it's not, and I'm sure it was like, hey, at some point I'm gonna blow up and go outside when they're stealing my bits.
Son of a bitch, Kid Ron. If I find out who this goddamn kid is, I really don't know who that is either. It's amazing, huh?
I can after the show play you the whole clip and you can find out. We can go find where he lives.
I don't
No
care.
worries. We'll kill him, but not physically.
All right, yeah.
One of my favorite
I'm gonna
lines.
kill you, but not physically.
Because I'll get fired, and then Ron goes, "Yes, you will."
Yeah. You can't really threaten interns, and I had realized that I just did. But I'm very quick at saying not physically. Very quick.
You nailed it. I'm guessing
That's happened to because that's happened to me a lot. I end up threatening people a lot. You know it.
Yeah.
7-Eleven, right? I told this story the other day on Mother's Day. I went to get a pizza and some guy almost hit me with his car. And then he tries to get out, so I threatened him. I said, I'm going to kill you, old George Carlin. Get back in your fucking car. I called him old George Carlin.
That's a
he
good
had
line.
A ponytail, a gray beard.
That's a fucking good line. Hey, why don't you do some drugs and scare your children some more?
Do you think I needed the old?
No.
'Cause I just said, hey, George Carlin, get back in your fucking car.
You did need the old line. You know why? Because you're saying you're not cool like Carlin. You're not going to die young like Carlin. You know what I mean? Like you're an even
Well,
bigger
he was
loser.
like 75 or something when he died.
R.I.P. Only the good die young.
So what's up next?
One time we were driving into the Lincoln Tunnel together, and we got into the city, and a mail truck cut us off. And
you're talking about me and you.
Yeah, caused us.
I know what you're gonna say.
Yeah, you do. Caused us to miss a light, and he made it. And you got out of my car and chased him down to yell at him, dude.
Yeah, that was.
And that was the moment.
I was on edge for other things.
Yeah,
So I ended up threatening a mail truck in New York City.
That
wasn't a proud moment.
I will never understand that. And then on Monday, I'm coming into New York, and a delivery truck cuts me off and causes me to miss a light. No biggie. I give him one of these, right? And move on with my life. But you know my car doesn't have AC, so the windows are down.
Yeah.
And I hear this guy going like, relax, out his window, at which point now I'm chirping.
I hate that.
Oh, yeah.
Relax. Shut up.
Yeah, so I'm starting to give instructions like which side the
God
accelerator's on.
I don't understand what's wrong with people. Listen, there are very simple rules. If you're going to cut me off, by God, you make that light. You do not cut someone off, and then here comes the yellow, and you slam your fucking brakes, and now you're both stuck at the light. You're the fucking asshole who cut me off because I was going through that light no matter what the fucking color was. So if you cut someone off, get through the yellow every fucking time. And that is something that I really hold near and dear to my heart. It's the same thing with don't cut me off on the Garden State Parkway and then go below the speed limit.
Oh.
You're the one who cut me off. You're in such a rush. So you better go fucking 20 miles an hour over the speed limit. Am I wrong about this?
No, you are 100%
But this happens all the time.
Yeah.
You get cut off, and then they go slow, and you're like, well, why didn't you just wait for me to pass you, dick?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Now I'm fired up at traffic.
But the good news
Podcasts
is
are firing me up
the light,
heart palpitations.
The light he caused me to miss is the last one before the outdoor parking garage I'm at, and it's a slow day. So all the parking attendants who I know personally hear the chirping, and it gets to the point of like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? He pulls off to make a delivery right in front of I park. I get out. There's a light at the end of the block. I see him in the front of the line waiting at the light. So I go in the crosswalk and I stand in front of his car. I go down on one knee and I untie my shoe. And for 3 consecutive lights, Dave, I untie and tie my shoe in front of this gentleman's truck and then go, why are you in such a hurry?
Oh, did you do that?
Yes, because I have
good.
the backing of all the parking garage guys from the Dominican Republic.
All right, good.
They're backing.
All right, I like that.
So I understand that
Good
level
job.
of psychopathness.
It gets me upset.
Yeah.
That's all. There are certain driving etiquettes.
How do we even get? No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
So you explode. You go outside.
I explode. I go outside.
You're now protesting.
Get some fresh air.
Yeah.
And then there's a protest nearby, I believe.
Yes. I don't know if you actually attended, though.
Oh, I went down.
You
To the
went down
park.
to the park. Okay. So you did eventually join the squad because
Yeah.
originally you were just outside of the building.
I was originally, but then I did go down to the park where the Writers Guild America East, WGA East, where they had gathered and they were doing their thing, and I joined them.
So
Pay us fairly. Pay us fairly. We want health insurance. We want health insurance.
that is
Writing. All three of those chants are chants that I tried to start unsuccessfully. Not a lot of writers joined me, but I thought, I was showing spirit at least.
This does clarify things a little bit because it sounds like you left the show. You went to try to actually be a part of the picket. This is the first time.
And they thought I was being a jerk off. They didn't realize I was in the Writers Guild.
And this isn't the
Some
first
of the writers.
time I've heard of you joining a protest. You joined a speech protest once and had a sign that got you in trouble.
I've done all kinds of protests.
You were great. This was well done. But Bronx Johnny's the one who they send. We love Bronx Johnny. He's a great on-the-fly producer. He was very good at doing things like that for you at the time, like getting the cell phone. But the way the protest was set up, it seems like he couldn't get to you. So you were in the picket. They were like, can you see Johnny? Can you see him? Can you see Dave? And he's like, I think I kind of. And they're like, all right, just come back. Tell Johnny to walk away and come back to the studio. We'll figure it out. And then as that's happening, you're in the picket line. I'm assuming at this point you come up with the plan to picket at Sirius.
Mm-hmm.
So while that's happening, what do you think your coworkers who aren't striking are doing?
You're talking about like Earl?
Earl specifically, that's a great example. Let's what do you think Earl's up to while you're out there standing up for the rights of all entertainment?
What do I think Earl's doing? Jack and shit, and Jack left town.
Okay, do you think he has your back?
No. No, I'm going to say he does not have my
Earl,
back.
What do you think should happen with Dave?
Dave, I think we should got to make the move.
He's fired.
You got to make the move.
Who would we bring in?
Someone who can write and someone who can.
Someone the exact opposite of you.
But not.
We need somebody who's not Earl. And I swear to this, if I get rid of Dave, I might as well get rid of Earl and Pitsy too. Because if you really had to say who's our strongest link, and I hate to say it, and it just shows what a empty show this is, but that would be Dave. That's the scary thing. Dave is the strongest link of all the producers. Then Pitsy and then Earl.
I'm running third on that race?
That's only because we don't have another person. I'm going to put you fourth behind the ash can. So Dave, Pitsy, the ash can, then you.
That ash can's doing a hell of a job.
Yeah. Oh, wait, I forgot. We have a urinal. So it's Dave, Pitsy, urinal, ash can, then you.
Now ash can's upset.
Yeah.
Piss receptacle.
You're not even in. You can't even see the piss receptacle from where you
receptacle.
are. I mean, you're far back right now, Earl.
Oh my God, that's great.
So Ron had your back. That was hilarious.
This is hysterical. I don't know how Earl got into piss receptacle talk, but according to my calculations, he was number 5 on that list right there.
Yeah.
He had me and Pitsy and 2 inanimate objects, and then him.
I didn't want the clip to go too long, but at one point, Ron goes, "Should we bring in Lily?" And Earl goes, "Fuck no." Because earlier in the argument, you called her a cunty, scabby, cunt, something along those lines.
Jesus.
Ron goes, "Why shouldn't we bring in Lily?" And Earl goes, "Well, Dave was right about that. She is a scabby, cunt, scabby." So even a broken clock's wrong, right? Twice a day.
I was channeling Earl. He
No,
liked the
Earl was
word
channeling
cunt.
you. Yeah, it was great.
The Earl's love of the word cunt apparently rubbed off on me.
So now you have been pivoted. You were part of the writer's strike.
Yes.
You were actually there. Now you have moved so that they can get you on the phone and so that they can hear you, as an individual. Bronx Johnny's out there with you. It seems like you pivot your focus. And I'm sure, I hope you remember. If not, I'm going to just assume that it was you on the fly kind of making a pivot call. Like, the ending of this bit was Dave getting kicked out of the writers' protest. In theory, they can't get that on the radio. How do I turn this good bit so far? How do I wrap this up?
No, I think that I wanted to go down there and fuck around, see if I could get some chants going, and no one was helping me out.
So
I was
then
being treated kind of silly.
Who made the call to pivot back to XM? Do you remember?
I don't remember coming back to Sirius XM. I think we stayed in the park. That could have been Theater of the Mind.
Okay.
Because there's no way I got the guy.
Well, we'll come back to that.
Okay.
Because here's why I ask. This is something you say when you call back in. When you call back in, it seems like the focal point's pivoted too.
Okay.
Now it's the unfair treatment that Ron and Fez give to writers is your focal point. You seem to be protesting Ron and Fez. You say you've moved out in front of the building. So it's very funny. And it's clearly a shtick. At one point, they ask you for a chant, and it's like a freestyle rapping.
What?
Yeah, it's not. It's all kind of inside of what's going on references, so it's hard to play it now and be like, oh yeah, that makes sense. But you go on for 8 to 12 verses of just like 2, 4, 6, 8, Ron and Fez are who we hate, and like we protest unfair pay. And Ron's offering you several times, like, hey Dave, you want me to buy you some food? And you're like, I see what you're doing, Mr. B. I'm not buying in. But so you're back, and this is why I ask a lot of the questions, is this kind of here.
Yeah. Security is not happy with your little skit that you're doing downstairs.
Maybe I was there.
Who isn't?
The security for the building. This is not you don't have anything lined up. You have a sign?
I had
said
signs protesting Ron Fez. I grabbed some magic markers at the Dwayne Reed right across the street as soon as I left. Yes.
All right.
And as for the security, this is my First Amendment right. First or Fourth Amendment, whatever.
You're supposed to go down.
I'm not even in front of the building. I'm in front of the boards with the graffiti. So I'm demonstrating peacefully. No one's getting hurt
They
here.
moved you down. They moved you away from our building and down in front of the empty lot.
Yes, they
Good.
kicked me out. Yes, actually, 2 buildings have kicked me out of the way, and they threatened by calling the cops on me. So I'm protesting in front of a billboard for Mike Nichols' new.
Mike Nichols gets a shout out.
Yeah.
The great Mike Nichols.
Mike Nichols' new film.
Yeah,
You were a
fantastic.
big fan of it. Ron kind of tried to be like, what? And you were like, no, it's great. Yeah. So you said it's something that we as the
I guess I was there.
The producer 3 found very interesting.
What's that?
I've been thrown out of the building twice. What? When? How?
No, I meant this. That's just me not being able to speak the English language properly. I meant I was protesting in front of buildings and twice was told, get out of here. Otherwise, the cops are coming.
Okay, so it wasn't.
I wasn't in the
radio
building.
bit.
That's just me with the inability to talk.
And it is
sometimes.
It is something that could have happened because it's a lot of people might not understand this. XM at the time doesn't own the entire building. You are
Correct.
in a studio with other people. Not even on
we
XM
had the
on
whole
your
floor. Oh, wait a second.
There were other
we had
suites
half
at this
the
point.
floor. Yeah.
So security wasn't particularly like, oh, this is awesome. We've got these XM DJs here. They weren't
Right.
super chill with you guys, were they?
No, but I mean, you'd imagine that we gave them a lot in rent. So I'm sure because the XM studios were massive.
Yeah.
It was a big space. They had the
That's
Opie
when they had
Anthony
the
office,
outdoor
the-
bleachers and everything.
Yeah, the Ron Fez office, 2 or 3 production studios, and then the huge, massive on-air studio,
Yeah.
which was so big that you could wheel in bleachers.
Yeah, and then,
So it
you know,
was-
if
it
you
was
brought
huge.
cigars, you got to sit on the couch.
Yeah, so it was a huge building. Yeah, no, yeah, they said get out of here,
So-
get out of here.
so
Not I wasn't in the building though.
No, you were right out front, and I could see it causing
But
problems.
they did say get out, like get out of the way. You can't go here. We'll call the police.
Had
Do
they
remember that.
forcibly removed you from the building previous or anything
No.
like that? Okay, just
No, 'cause I mean I worked there.
we were just trying to clarify the line.
Yeah.
That's all.
All right, yeah.
So that's very interesting. So you're outside, like I said, you're focusing on Ron and Fez, and we're gonna play this just because it was one of the producer's favorite lines from Ron, just showing him being funny on the fly.
Okay.
Saying things about Fez.
I know. I hope I don't have to take him food down on the picket line just to show any sort of support.
If you do, could you bring me up something too?
You're not striking.
I know, I'm starving.
Oh, okay.
I was in such a hurry today, I only had time to eat 1 breakfast. So it's been a busy day for me. There's been no brunch.
Rush with you.
Yeah, I know. I like to have a breakfast, a brunch, and a lunch before I get in here. All right, I'm going to go back and check the way things are going on the picket line. Dave.
Yes, Mr. Bacon.
Do you need anything like a coat or common sense? Anything at all we can give you?
That common sense line was not very nice.
I know.
I got plenty of it, and I don't need a coat. You know why? Because we tough it out. The writers people, we tough it out. We're on the sidewalk. We're hearing numbers.
Do you need a code or common sense? Very funny line.
Yeah, good line.
So this is when Ron starts to try to bring you back inside.
Yes. Okay.
He starts with offering you food, sweetness like that. You're like, I see what you're doing here. Attempt 2 is he starts to bring up your ex-wife.
Yes.
Dave, your
okay.
ex-wife's on Pal Talks. Dave, your
So
ex-wife's
that's the way to get me in the building.
trying to get you back in. Dave, your
I get
ex-wife's
it.
boobs are on screen.
Oh my God.
Dave,
Now I have
oh
to
my
get back in
God,
the
now
building.
she's arching her back. Dave,
See?
oh my God, get it. And you know what you do?
What?
You stand firm.
Listen,
You stand with those writers.
I'm a union man.
You didn't need no
This
jacket.
is what a union man looks like. Okay? You can't get me to break. I ain't crossing that picket line. No matter what kind of monkey business is going on Pal Talk.
Then he, sensing the tension from 2 days ago, goes, Dave, oh my God, it looks like Jonathan's in the shot. Dave, Jonathan's over at your house. Dave, you got to get in here. And you know what you do?
What?
You stand fucking firm.
Got to.
I think Lily makes some shitty line too.
I'm a union man.
Because
Oh,
she
of
can't
course.
stick with the
Of
bit.
course.
She has to try
She
to
can't.
fight. Yeah.
She can't. She can't just, it's
Some people-
She forgets that this is actually supposed to be entertainment and we're performing. Instead, it's now I got to be personal or something.
I'm gonna use part of the quote you taught me. You said to me on the first day we met, which was, "Some people have it in their blood, and some people don't."
And you're one of those people, baby.
Oh no! The rest of the quote was, "You don't, but if you work really hard, you might be able to fool some people." But no, Lily doesn't. Come on, roll with the bit. This is clearly not your time to bicker. It's
no,
Dave's
I mean, I can't say she
doesn't.
Great. That's a little harsh.
You're right.
I'm saying at that time she was clearly distracted by this very personal matter.
No, I know. We all get distracted by personal matters.
Not me.
No.
You know how many times my
there's an
life has
exception to
fallen
every
apart,
rule?
like in front of my very eyes, and I've been on radio for 20 years. Between Sirius XM for 10 years and the number one radio show in New Jersey, 95.9 WRAT, 95.9 The Rat, where I do the morning show for the last 10 years and am number one.
Yeah.
Or the Davey Mac Sports Program, the number one independent sports show of all time. Or the Eastside Dave and Son Wrestling Show, which is now nationally syndicated by Beasley Media.
Damn.
And yeah, with all of this success, and it's actually non-debatable success. The Dave haters can have a fun time, existing in their own alternate reality, but it's not real. All of my radio success, no one would know about it because when it's time for the fucking red light to go on, Davey Mac is in the game. He's not fucking farting and shitting about what's going on at home. And that's what separates me from you. Sorry, I was cutting a promo and I just decided you were the only one sitting here.
Sitting here.
You're great,
Four
Robert.
puppets right there.
Just
No. Honestly, it's one of the reasons I reached out to you in the first place. Is I was at a point like that, and the Midnight Rider saga was getting me through one of my life falling apart.
I don't
and
know
then,
why you would give credit to that fucking mask wearing weirdo. I mean, I got nothing to do with the Midnight Rider. I'm sure we'll do an episode on him, but
yeah.
It's got nothing to do with me.
But no, it was you interacting with the Midnight Rider.
Yeah.
Is what I was giving compliment to.
I mean, you're not saying like the Rider. Or
no,
like
definitely wouldn't say that. And then once we started working together, I actually went through probably the worst thing I've ever gone through, where the Jamaica fire apartment, and it was you who pulled me aside and was like, "Hey, what do you want to do with this?" And I was like,
"Yeah, your apartment burned down."
Somebody's, not mine, but yeah. And then she left me for another guy. But and you were like, "What do you want to do with this?" And I was like, "What are you talking about, Dave?" And you're like, "Well, Rob, this is going to be on your mind for the next at least month."
Oh,
how
your
are
ex.
we?
Your
Yeah.
ex.
How are we?
I notice you're not saying her name on the air.
She's a cunt. Yeah, some of us will take shots. But
why don't we dime out your ex's name on the
all
air?
right, Molly. She's a cunt.
Continue.
Anyway,
Continue this one.
You were like, "What are you going to do with this?" And I'm like, "What do you mean?" And you're like, "This is going to be on your mind, so let's turn it into a bit." And it was the first thing you let me really do on the Eastside Dave show of Rob Goes Dark, and then we did a Christmas episode out of it.
Yeah, that was a good episode.
But
very
again,
creative.
You taught me in that moment
Very original.
how to, no matter what's going on in your life, focus on the show. The show is an hour long. Use that hour to be your release.
There
Get
is
it out of
no
your system.
excuse for someone who actually thinks that they're in show business to bring personal shit and use that and think that's some sort of crutch. Don't show up to work that day.
So
it's
I
as
appreciate
simple
you
as
for
that. I've never done that in my life.
It's a very nice
Never.
cowboy hat.
Never.
I like that hat.
What do you mean? I've been wearing this hat the whole fucking time.
I just noticed.
You're not implying that I'm someone or anybody, right? Because I don't like the insinuation of where you're going. I've been wearing this fucking red cowboy hat the entire goddamn episode.
You have.
Okay.
All right.
You just mentioned that fucking luchador mask wearing weirdo, and it bothers me. People still, for some reason, like to tie me to that Rider guy.
So the boobs, the back arch, the Jonathan in the room don't get you inside. Ron starts trying to bribe you. Because as he pointed out, he needs you. And honestly, things have fallen apart inside. Earl missed a bunch. Fez, when they come back from a break, it's just, "Fez, you just were screaming at everybody during the break." And Fez goes, "Yeah, because they're all pieces of shit, Ron." Every single one of them. None of them should be in this fucking business.
Why were you screaming at that, Fez? Because they're all pieces of shit.
Fez, I thought you were going to be my executive producer and take over and have this turned around in a week.
I am. I'm trying to get the pieces of shit in order.
I can't, Ronnie. I'm working with garbage
I'm
here.
working with shit pieces.
Yeah, so it's clearly falling apart. So he's trying to bribe you to get back inside.
What's the bribe? What are we talking? How much?
I don't even remember. I think it's food. I think he keeps trying to bribe you with food. Liquor at one point. He does do that. Getting Casey unbanned from the aforementioned angel fuck and baby girl combined party that we learned how to say properly.
A bribe?
Yeah.
I wasn't going to go that thing anyway.
No. You wanted to, but because of you were standing in unison with your ex.
Okay.
And then they come up with a good strategy.
Oh, what's the strategy?
They get a spy report. Because this is the end of the week. The
Okay.
bit's gone on as long as it can, right?
Yes.
This is notoriously one of the longest strikes in writers' history.
This
so
was a very serious strike. This affected a lot of stuff.
you can't just have Derek Jeter rest for a month indefinitely. You need your all-star, the Jordan, if you will, as the AI pointed out.
Yes.
So how do we get Dave back in? They get a spy report. The strike's over. Dave runs back inside, all excited because the strike's over.
They tricked me.
Dave goes on air. You're Dave. I don't know why I keep saying.
No, but
in
I
third
mean,
person.
they tricked me, right?
They tricked you because you.
It wasn't over.
Yeah. We just pointed out longest strike. So you're inside and you go on air. And
I
you
was
go,
tricked.
We did it. We stuck it to those bastards like Ron and Fez.
See, I thought we had taken down the machine. The common man had finally, it stood up for his rights, and we had taken down all those fucking fat cats.
And then they go, Dave, why don't you write a little bit for us? And you go, boy, I'd sure love to.
Yeah,
you write a
absolutely.
poem about it. It's not worth playing now.
Yeah.
It was, you had
nice
it written
poem.
in 4 days. It was nice. It wasn't,
It's a poem.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah. And then they reveal that they had pulled the wool over your eyes.
They lied.
And who's the biggest scab of all but Dave McDonald,
Now it's me.
who crossed the picket line.
I was the fucking scab at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It's on me because I didn't. Well, let's be honest here, Robert. iPhones were not a thing.
No.
I mean, they might have been a thing.
It's just on the cusp if they were.
But yeah.
Yeah. Not,
iPhone 2.
Yeah. You
I mean,
didn't
what
have
are we
it.
talking? No one knew.
If you had Googled it, it would have been next week before you got the answer anyway. Yeah.
I didn't know if the writer's strike had been canceled or not, or was off, or had succeeded or not. So I was taking their word for it. That was my mistake.
Yeah.
I guess.
Well, it was your
was a
mistake for
trick.
trusting them.
I got tricked.
Yeah, you got tricked, and you were a scab as a result. And
I scabbed it up a little bit. And to this day, I have multiple scabs due to karma from scabbing it up to the WGA East.
Okay, I have scabs due to a venereal disease.
Yeah,
Thanks again, Molly, you cunt.
Oh, my.
Anyway, can you get sued if you say something true?
Don't worry about it.
This is another brilliant thing that Dave took something. Dave, with Ron and Fez's blessing and assistance, you took something that was in the poltergeist. Zeitgeist, that's the right word, not the movie Poltergeist. That's a ghost. No, it's something that was in the zeitgeist that literally every show that was talking about anything from sports to news to just gossip was talking about this writer strike. And you did something with it that was a fresh,
We all
unique
did something,
take.
but yeah. Yeah, we all did something. We
That's what
had
I'm saying.
fun.
As a team, yeah.
Yeah.
And you did this many times. Even if it wasn't something in the zeitgeist of the whole world, if it was just Ron and Fez. Opie and Anthony had an intern who was doing stunts. You go on and challenge him to a radio war. You
Radio
and Fez
War. That's going to
are
be
doing it.
an episode, an upcoming episode.
Yeah, I was 30 seconds away from teasing that out like I had written it, but that's okay.
Well,
I'm
don't
just
worry
kidding. I love
about
you,
writing
Dave.
shit around here.
Well, we're on strike.
We're just
No,
chatting.
no. Yeah. No, but I was pointing out that, that is what we're going to talk about next. But it's something,
Episode
again,
5, Radio Wars.
where you took something happening and you made it great. But you were explaining that truly you turned just kind of not that it was a throwaway bit, but it didn't have to be an impactful or big bit, and you made it something that actually really worked
It was
well
fun.
for the show. Yeah,
This was a fun bit.
but it wasn't just a fun bit because
Yeah.
it resulted in something much more. You were telling me in particular about you met at the picket line somebody.
So what happened was then at the Writers Guild protest, all of a sudden I look up. I was a big Lost fan, and there's Ethan from Lost.
Ethan Hawke's there?
No,
Oh.
he was. I don't even know the actor's name, but if you watched Lost, Ethan is one of the others who is really scary. Just a tall, generic-looking guy, but like a blank-looking face. And he tried to kidnap Charlie. He tried to kidnap Claire. He hung Charlie from a tree. Charlie survived. He ultimately, I think, got killed, shot or something by Charlie.
Same thing happened to
The
my
weird
uncle
thing
in
is, I didn't even
Vietnam.
know that this guy is Tom Cruise's cousin.
Really?
Ethan from Lost is Tom Cruise's cousin. How about that?
That was pretty crazy.
Anyway, I saw
How
Ethan.
crazy is it the same thing happened to my uncle in Vietnam? That he was chased down and killed by Charlie.
Now, Ethan, I see him and I go, Ethan, would you come to the Ron and Fez show on Sirius XM satellite radio and discuss the writer's strike? And he says, yes, Daddy.
He said, only if I can be the Ichiban.
He says, absolutely, I will. He did.
Incredible.
It was
And so-
fantastic.
okay, so
I was
that
excited.
happened, and then he came on, and was this
And then
still
came
during the
on.
writer's strike?
Yeah, and
Wow.
he did it, and he was a pretty, nice guest.
That's awesome.
It's not like Ethan has the biggest IMDb in a while, but if you watched Lost,
And this was at the
Ethan's in
peak of
every
Lost.
season because he's in flashbacks and shit all the time.
And this is the peak of Lost hype, too.
Peak of Lost.
Yeah.
Peak of Lost. So I was really excited because I also thought he was kind of a cool bad guy.
And that's really cool. And it's great that in the moment you got a hot guest for the Ron and Fez show. But if you take it a step further and think about it, Ethan hasn't. You still remember him as Ethan from Lost.
Yeah, I don't even
So
know
in the
his real
highlight
name.
of his career, when everything's kind of going away because writing's going away, you gave him, hey, here's one last moment in the sun almost
This is it.
on the Ron and Fez show, and it's kind of what you do for a lot of people is
This
give
is-
them
this is what I do.
opportunities. Other people, you're truly. I know the AI made the joke. But if you think about it, that's kind of what Jordan's known for. He made everybody around him better.
I mean,
and
I
it's
didn't think of
truly-
it like that.
You've got, if you look at this from the broad perspective, you got Fez
I
who's
mean, how
behind.
much weed did you smoke before this diatribe? Okay, continue.
You got
though.
Fez behind the glass who's
Yeah.
having mental health issues. Ron's trying therapy.
I think you're having mental health issues, but go ahead.
Why do you keep saying that? This is really mean.
Well, go ahead.
No. That's the end of the show, guys. I'm going on strike. I smoked too much weed because now I'm giving Dave a compliment.
It's so complimentary. You know
But if
that
you,
I feel.
you're waiting for the ball to drop, and
No,
there's not one
it's
coming.
not
but
that. I feel
you-
uncomfortable
Yeah,
with
no. But here's what's going on. So you've
too
got
much
Fez behind the glass
compliments. Yeah.
and moving around because things aren't going well. At one point, Earl gets thrown out of the studio because he's too jittery, and he goes, "No, my back's just spasming." And
But
it's
he
like
paces around.
yeah,
He's
it's
a
driving
pacer.
everybody nuts.
Sometimes he would pace in the producer's booth.
Yeah.
Because the console was raised, so we all actually had stools, but you didn't have to do the stool; you could just stand.
Yeah.
And sometimes, even though he's supposed to be on the board, he'd be pacing back and forth like he's a death row guy. And it's like, and I'm not talking rap either. That wasn't a black thing.
It's what it
I'm
is.
talking old school usage. He's
I'm
going to be
gonna be
going
honest,
to the
I-
electric chair.
I just thought you meant Suge Knight walked behind the board.
That's I knew people were going to say that because of the color.
I just assumed it was a thing.
No, I'm talking about
But,
he's
yeah.
nervous, like
So
he's going to get lit
But
up.
he's not doing well either. Fez just screamed at everybody for not doing well.
Yeah.
Lily's got the off-air thing going on in her mind.
Yeah, that's
Pitsy
crazy.
had just been hired. Ron
Yeah.
makes a quip over that Earl hired her when he should have hired Lily. That I'm sure just adds to the tension of the
he said,
situation.
Earl hired Pitsy when he should
Chose
have hired
Pitsy over Lily.
Lily. Okay.
Yeah, and so everything's kind of tense there. And then you got an intern who, to this day, you don't remember his fucking name. That you
No.
allowed to not only do your bit but take a cheap shot across the jaw for.
Called me Kid Ron, huh?
In a time when Ron, genius, could handle it, obviously.
Kid
but
Ronald McDonald.
there's all this tension going on. The stuff he talks about is no longer on air, right? Like you guys talked about radio, TV. You talked about all the writers are gone, and who steps up and handles kind of the problem, takes the spotlight off of all those people. And by spotlight, I mean like the laser scope.
Yeah.
Like you're hunting. You
Me.
put it on me. You could go, let's make Dave the bad guy again. I'm going to strike and walk away from the show. I'm going to overreact.
Huh.
And you kind of just stepped up and allowed everybody else to sit back into their roles. Even
Interesting.
the
I mean, I
fighting-
hadn't thought of it like that. I didn't think of it.
No, because leaders never do. They
Like
just step up
that.
in moments. So
I mean, I enjoyed the writer's strike because, like I said, getting to meet Ethan was fun. I was, legitimately in the Writers Guild.
you're doing radio. You're outside.
I liked
jumping
all
around.
that.
You got magic
Man
markers.
on the street stuff
Yeah.
is always real fun.
Yeah, and we're gonna
So
get.
I like all that kind of shit. But it was an insane experience there for a while because it did feel like the only news story that people were talking about. I guess it was just a slow news cycle.
Well, and
it was like writer's strike. It was like fine.
And this was before everything was hyper political too. So there wasn't all the politics talk. It was what was on TV last night. And that's all away.
I tell you what, if there was a fucking strike at ESPN, I guarantee you, Tony Reali would be the first scab doing a show.
Yeah, if
Straight
not,
up.
if not Davey Mack.
I mean, come on.
Unless if they were willing to hire Guy Geyerson.
Listen, I think the proof is in the pudding.
Yeah. But I really like this moment because it kind of shows you in a bunch of different roles, willing to do whatever it takes to get it done. And, you know, being
That's
the
my
loose,
MO.
free safety.
That's my
if you
MO.
will. I know-
One day the business will love me back as hard as I love the business.
Unfortunately.
Because sometimes it doesn't feel like it's always that two-way street. I'll take a bullet for anybody. I have
I've
about
seen
1,000 times on the radio.
And honestly, Dave, unfortunately, it's one of those things where just true legends aren't recognized in their moment.
Yeah.
So people will someday.
So you're saying I should cut off my ear and shoot myself in the cornfield?
Not yet.
Okay.
But
Because
at
I
some
have
point,
the red hair and the beard already.
some point we're going to need the
kind of
Davey.
pull off that look.
We're going to need the Davey Mac Sports program publicity. So you never know. But
Davey Mac Sports program, by the way, live
from the dojo.
in the Dojo of Comedy in Morris Plains, New Jersey, each and every
Tiff Sale
Sunday.
House. Yeah.
Come on by.
2:30.
We're allowing people to come on by. We still have, we're still doing the technical thing, but if people want to come on by, be there at 2:30.
And we're going to get to the point where we are running it like a real show. But
yeah,
for the time being,
we
come
were
hang
thinking
out.
for the summer, we're just going to take it nice and slow. And then by the
figure
fall,
out
figure
all the
it out.
kinks. Yeah, exactly. So we saw you being the free safety. I know Earl gets that rep, but the true free safety, doing whatever it takes, whatever role, Mr. Do-It-All,
Oh,
the Swiss Army knife of radio.
The ultimate utility man.
Then what we're doing next, we see you in, probably my favorite role of yours, which is stunt.
Stunt?
Nobody does a stunt better than Dave.
Really?
Who in radio history has been willing to go further, do more, do whatever? I
No
can't.
one.
I truly can't
No
think of
one.
anybody.
Yeah.
I mean,
No
honestly,
one. No one's gone
I do-
this hardcore. No one's got tattoos. No one's gotten branded. No one's gotten all this
No,
shit.
I
no
do
one's
like
gotten
to-
hot sauce poured on the dick
Yeah.
hole and then the anus. No one's been hospitalized twice.
Exactly. I do like to think I'm walking in your footsteps. The Kobe Jordan. They're gonna be like, oh look, they're all just Dave's moves.
My philosophy
But
was always very simple.
There are very.
Well, let me just say this. My philosophy is simple. You never drag your feet and act like, I don't want. The second you're one of those, I don't wanna, then get the fuck off of radio.
Yeah.
I hate to say that about a lot of people, but there were a lot of producers on that channel that had drag the feet mentality.
Absolutely.
I
And I'm-
prefer to always be doing sketches, bits, things that I created, probably over stunts, but at the same time, if it's needed for the show, if the audience needs it, I'll do it.
And that's all I was going to say is I try to adopt that philosophy of don't drag your feet. And I'm pretty good at it other than stunts. Stunts is the one area I go, that's where I need to work because nothing's going inside of me.
Yeah, I understand.
No hot sauce on my dick hole.
Yeah, I get it.
I'm going
get
to
it.
fight Jay Moore if he does that.
I
I'm
understand.
going to go, that one's for Burt Kreischer as I knock him out. But you go up against, and you do something, pun intended, something that we just talked about, which is you take somebody who's been kind of shunned and you eventually take them under their wing. And on next week's episode of Tales from the Satellite.
Yes. Well, 2 weeks from now.
Next episode. I
Yeah,
keep
next
saying
episode.
week. I'm in Davey Mac mode.
Don't worry.
But 2 weeks from now or whenever we get it out.
Yeah.
Probably 2 weeks from now.
Probably.
Is the introduction of you and our producer, White Jared.
Yeah, man.
Were
My
you-
these days, my Yaddle Chattel Star Wars podcast co-host, Jedi Jared.
Yeah, producer of
But
this
I
show.
mean, amazing history with Jared, as he was our first producer on Special Delivery starring Sam and Dave.
He was the special
He was
special
the
delivery.
first producer of the East Side Dave show on Compound. He's now the Yaddle Channel Star Wars podcast co-host. But of all those things, yes, we first battled each other in a very serious
We met not as friends, but as enemies.
Radio
in
war.
Radio war.
So that
thank
was
you
a
so
war
much.
between Opie and Anthony. Jedi Jared, Fishman was on them, and then I was for Ron and Fez, and it was very intense.
And we've shown you and Fez beefing before. This is you and Fez working in unison, and honestly, it's true radio.
Yeah,
gold.
baby.
So I look forward to that. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for supporting. Tell your friends.
Thank
And,
you.
Closing
Closing thoughts? I'd like to say, I think all of the writers, though I am not striking right now because you refuse to give me screeners, I am still behind you, my writer brethren. Also, I've written that pilot that if some of you writers, since you're, on strike right now, maybe you can shop it around. You got some extra time. check out my pilot and then get it in the right hands. I mean, one hand washes the other. But nevertheless, I support all writers. All writers.
I like to judge a writer by the content of their character, not by the title of their job. But I stand in unison. ChatGPT is nuts. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Thank you.
This has been a great episode. Good evening, Radios fans. This has been Davey Max, Tales from the Satellite.